Hello again and welcome to another TeamBN stream. How's everyone doing today? We're back with another world record analysis video, this time Mega Man Battle Network 2. We're going through the series in order. We'll be looking at, so last week we did Mega Man Battle Network 1 and we looked at the ending percent category, which is full of RNG manipulation. So here in Battle Network 2, you can play the game kind of either way. We'll be looking at the single segment run, which requires that the runners don't save and quit, and this effectively eliminates RNG manipulation. The run we're looking at today is Risch's 2:27:14 that he got not that long ago. And helping out on commentary is Dallas. All three of us have got a lot of history of Battle Network 2. And so, let's see, Dallas, you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the game and the category?
Sure. So I'm Dallas. I have the world record for no main glitches and 80%. The game is really kind of similar how it plays out in any category. As in, you have an early game where you're looking for like a shoot, and then a late game where you're either going to be a skater or a present glitch that we'll probably mention, but it's not used in this specific category, right? Right. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, the categories are kind of similar, and a lot of things transfer over. So yeah.
And the run is, of course, by Risch, who is also here on commentary. Risch, tell us a little bit about this run.
Sure. So, this is the one and only Risch BN2 single segment run. I started out running this category because of some races that we wanted to do between myself, Dallas, and actually Ghostit.
Right.
Many years ago, we all started learning this category to race it together. Those were some really fun races, and then slowly but surely, Dallas and I started getting better times, and we sort of kept that going until eventually Dallas got the first sub 230, I believe, and then a few months later, I came back to the category and got this current run 227:14. So overall, I think that this run was pretty good. I think that the late game is where a lot of it goes really well. The early game, you'll see, we'll discuss it a little bit more, but the early game RNG was not the best, but overall...
Never is.
Yeah, of course. Overall, it was still a pretty good run, and then obviously good enough to be the current world record for single segment.
Yeah, being two single segment, well, technically 100% back before we discovered RNG manipulation, was the first speedrun I ever did, and so I've got fond memories of this category. I think as far as the series go, it's probably one of the more chill runs once you get past the early game. And yeah, we came back, and I remember we added in like wide swords. It's like, L-code's so good, and then I got a good time, and then Dallas beat it, and then Risch beat it, and it's like, just can't. But so we'll be playing through this video. We may pause periodically because what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the run, but also the category, and so what Battle Network 2 single segment is, and kind of like why we do certain things, and give you tips to understand the runs, and if you're interested, pick it up yourself, because the time is definitely, no offense to Risch, this is a good run, but there's still more room to improve Battle Network 2.
Definitely.
How old is this? Yeah, actually, when'd you get this?
Good question.
It's still relatively recent. You can always check out all of the records. What is it? Yeah, world record. We got a. Nope. Wait
7 months ago.
Yeah, 7 months ago. So
dude, snipe it down.
That was the start of 2020. 2020 started with this run.
Maybe it's just word. I give up. So let's just go ahead and get started. Yeah, we'll watch the run.
So yeah,
timer.
Before we get started, I will say this: it won't really be obvious because there's no game audio playing. We're playing music over this, so you don't hear my talking during the run. But There will be an audio cue that I hit on the title screen to manipulate the style that I'll be getting. In BN2 specifically, almost every category really wants to get aqua style. And so that value for the elements you get for your style is set when you select new game on the title screen. So I'll be getting aqua style, and there's a 5-frame window that I hit. You won't be able to hear the audio cue for it, but just getting that out of the way to start off the run.
So that's to Arthur.
Yes,
Dallas, give us a countdown.
Wait, should I?
Yeah, go ahead. Just
Yeah.
give me a countdown.
Okay.
I'll start the video.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, and you
Yeah.
see after a brief delay, it starts. All you really have to do at the start of this run is just talk to Dex twice, because he's a very important character.
There's an
Right.
S at the end. I found the command.
Oh, nice.
Oh, right. The tutorial is homework. I forgot.
Yep. Got the swag talk to mom, as per usual.
Yeah. So, the beginning of BN2, the first, 10 minutes, are kind of
Yep.
awful.
Yes. I was actually surprised going through this. My mashing was way better than I expected for BN2. But anyway, the early game for BN2, especially single segment. Well, I guess specifically single segment, because the other categories you can RNG manipulate are relatively painful because of what you want to be able to get a run going.
Right.
So basically, the strategy in this run is that we will be trying to use really powerful program advances to quickly defeat bosses. In particular, the early game will be making use of Guts Shoot, and later game will be making use of Gator, as you might expect if you've ever played Battleground 2 before. So, with that in mind, we need to get the components for these different program advances. For Gator, it's relatively easy to do, but for Guts Shoot, the components are Guard, Dash, and Gutsman. Gutsman's pretty easy to get, you just have to fight him. But Guard and Dash are a bit RNG to get.
Yeah, we're gonna be basically flipping coins.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's usually a 50% for SETI or the chip, but that also depends on the rank. So you're gonna see that for many of the fights in the early game, Risch is gonna be taking hits or moving just so he can specifically make his rank 6.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that was what, the 54 ranks guard star, right?
Yep. Honestly, though, one of the nice things is that on top of the guard stars and the dashes that we need, we also do want some early Zenny, because we want to buy 2 sneak runs before we are done with this first trip through the internet. So we want a total of 400 Zenny, and from Metars, 50% of the time at a rank 6 you'll get a guard star, the other 50% you will get 100 Zenny. With the number of fights you get in an average run, with just perfect drops, you can get both of these things, 400 Zenny, and what we want is actually 3 guard stars. Currently, I have 200 Zenny.
Yeah, depending on the stress you do, you can go technically for only 2 guard stars, because ideally you want to double Guts Shoot the Shadow Man, and whenever you trade that guard later on, you have at least one copy of Guts Shoot still in the folder. But for Risch's strats, that we'll talk about a bit later, because it's much more important for late game. He wants 3, ideally, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
So, there are some other viruses that can show up in fights other than Metars, for example, those bunnies, and they have a better drop table in terms of Zenny. So right now, I actually have 400 Zenny, which is all that I need for the run, at this point in the game.
Yeah, but no guards.
Yes, absolutely 0 guards. There was a time where I think you would reset at this point, just because you don't have any guard stars. However, single segment, it's just like, there's so much more. Like, I am guaranteed to get at least 3 more fights on the internet at this point. So
Yeah, even mid game through like some of the licenses, you can accidentally get just guard stars. So it's wow.
yeah, I got this fight.
Okay, so we're supposed to grab two datas, you know, Taz does it in a different order, but since we can jack out after grabbing this, we have a much lower chance of getting an encounter that Risch got anyway. But at least it was a really fast fight.
Yeah, and it got me another 200 zenny, which really makes no difference at this point. So that was just pure time loss. But yeah, we're trying to grab hope and hero data.
Yeah, so Nimrod is pretty set in stone after this, if I remember correctly.
I believe there's actually 0 RNG zenny past this point. And you can see here that this is actually where the bad luck you can start to see is that now I'm getting fights with no metars where I don't need zenny, so this fight is basically useless to me.
Yeah. We don't need cannons either. Oh yeah, so we are gonna be grabbing a bunch of star-coded chips simply because in BN2 and like in BN1 we can attain a lot of folder flow and we really want that. To go through the folder as fast as we can to find the PAs and to get custom stuff, which we have not talked about yet.
Yep. I believe, is this the fight that I got my first one from? Beautiful.
Nice.
So yeah,
5%.
Yep.
Easy club.
So that's the first guard star that I get. This run does manage to get a few. Even though it may not look like it.
Guard Star, even if we didn't use the PAs, is actually a story required chip, and if you don't have any, there are backups to get some, which is interesting.
Right.
Here was actually
more is useful.
Yes. Here's actually a small mistake. You can't see my face in the recording, but I noticed right away. I was like, I should have taken that third V gun, and that would have made the fight just that much faster. Instead, I had to buster the Canadum down.
Right.
But again, I did not get another guard star from that. So right now, I have like 700 zenny and 1 guard star. Not the best
star.
And a cannon A.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just buy 2 sneak runs. Normally, I bought 3 because I can. Why not?
Should talk about the doghouse.
Yes.
Oh, it's doghouse time.
This is the worst part of Battle Network speedruns, especially single cycle.
So the doghouse, as I mentioned earlier, we want guard star, but also dash, and you can see the fishy virus gives us a very good chance at getting dash. So we want dash G or star, and so much like guard star, it's a 50-50 chance at most ranks that we get either a G or a star code. The other times we'll get like a B or a D code instead, and it doesn't work for the program advance because Gutsman is G coded.
Like, we'll still put it in the folder because they're good chips and they help in a lot of other fights. But we need 2 for PAs.
So here, this place also gives me some extra opportunities at guard star, and this is the second one that I've gotten. But this is probably the best place, I believe, that we can try to get dash at this point in the game. So you'll see me just taking fights trying to get dash. You might have noticed in the first fight I actually waited on this panel. But then in this one I had to move down and buster the Canadum a little bit because I didn't have a guaranteed draw that would allow me to kill or to delete the Canadum.
Wow.
That was a really lucky dash G. So right after getting the first dash G, I do a quick folder edit to add all of the chips that we need because dash G is really good against these fishy viruses.
Yeah.
And we slot stack now because we're smart.
Yes. So I think I still would ideally want a 3rd guard star, which is why I'm taking this fight.
Right.
Dallas is probably mad at me for not taking the 2nd ship for custom points. And there's the
I'm
third
thinking
guard
in
stat.
the previous fight, you also didn't take, like, there were 2 pickaxes.
Yep.
It's
yep.
like, oh, that would have been so many custom points. It's like, nah.
And then this is a really nice fight.
Ooh.
Do we get it?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember making these setups.
That's a good setup.
Yes.
So, used to the strat was you had to pause buffer a frame perfect double delete, but Dallas found some setups that make it a few more than 1 frames.
Yeah.
So you can get the double kill, which is faster, but also at S rank, or even 9 and 10, you can get star code instead of G code, which is even better because the game still did PA, but it's got better flow.
Yeah. One of the other nice things about G having 1 G and 1 star code is that for a later folder edit, it actually results in both of them being moved directly to the top. I believe we sort by like reverse quantity or something. And so because
Nice.
G and star codes are considered separate chips, it actually sorts them to the top.
Are you gonna get hit out of this? That encounter.
I do this fight about as flawlessly as you can given the draw.
Oh, nice. So, Gascons have some interesting setups, so
Yeah,
we
you
can
do.
just
Yeah.
buffer movement. You can see that we'll be opening the menu.
Was that worth it?
Probably.
Well, it's consistent, I guess.
I do it
The
just for
second one's way
consistency's
more
sake.
interesting, and this may be where we want to pause and talk about it when Risch gets to it.
Yep.
Because I'm guessing you do it, right?
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
well after. It's such good tech. Like
Well,
first
there
we gotta
are
wait and
2
see
buffers.
So
what
right here,
happens.
you don't get an encounter, and I use
Oh,
this
you
to
go
set up
all
the
the
sneak
way.
run. And then
Yeah.
because I set up the sneak run, when you
We're
open the
gonna frame
menu,
advance this?
I can play it a little bit for now.
I want to at least see it. Yeah.
yeah.
There. Okay.
So
Yep.
it sets
No
up
wiggle?
everything.
No wiggle.
No need for a
Yes,
wiggle.
it's so good because the
Yeah.
So if we
Yeah.
go back a little bit, too far. Okay. So if we go back, opening the menu resets all of the gas patterns. So because of where I was standing, all you need to do is move upright a little bit, and then once you've gotten past a certain point, you can just hold up with B,
Right.
and you just run straight past the clouds.
So there are 2 setups for this. One is using the sneak run where Risch used it, and the other is using the sneak run right after grabbing the HP memory, so that the one check you run through will guarantee not give you an encounter that, Risch just run past it. 'Cause it's a really low chance, I believe it was like, what, a 9 or 6?
6
I don't remember.
probably, if I had to guess, based on other BN games.
So if you open the menu earlier was because exiting the menu after using a sneak run and manually exiting, it's a bit different for the buffer. So Terra found this way, which is you have to wiggle 4 times, so you kill 8 frames, and you'll do the exact same setup where you just run straight up and you get past both gases.
Yep.
So we got a first boss coming up, Airman, and since this is the single segment category, Risch might edit the folder. You've probably already done that. So it's just dealing with the random draw. Which
Ideally, you draw a bunch
is a
of
lot of errors here.
yeah.
Folder flow.
Ideally, you draw a bunch of swords and some dashes. Unfortunately, Airman has some really difficult.
How did you?
That was just luck. I just threw the mini bomb
Nice.
because there was no
Oh,
point
wait.
in keeping it.
So Airman moves, I think, like 5 times, 4 or 5 times, and then he'll attack. And then once you get him below half health, he'll move. I think 1 additional time and like summon tornadoes and then do an attack. He's kind of annoying and he doesn't give you much time to hit him, especially with the tornadoes on the field. But the bosses in BN2 and viruses in generally behave. They follow a much more strict pattern than they do in BN3, where they started to get a little more random.
Right.
Yeah, this was like a
Still
kind
hard.
of unfortunate fight. As Tara mentioned, most of his attacks you can't actually hit him during, because he just moves too fast. For example, with the dash. Like, dash is really good. It's 90 damage, but he doesn't wait around long enough for you to use it. There's only one attack which he can, and that's when he summons the little tornadoes that move very slowly across the screen.
You go through them.
Yeah, and you just dash straight through them. And then right afterwards, we jack into Yai's telephone because we're stealing 1,000 zenny from our friend Yai. She's rich. She doesn't need it.
The explosion line you probably could, but if he's in the front, dash has a build-up, so unless you like pause over it, it'd be really hard to react to. It's more a timing thing with the explosions.
Yeah.
And since his attack is random in that he may appear in front of you, or he may appear randomly on the back row due to the tornadoes. So since you can't guarantee that, you can't preemptively buffer the dash attack. Now, we're doing a backtracking here. It's optional, right? Because we want to shop?
This is optional, but pretty much isn't because of the sneak run route. The point of this trip is that we actually get 2 sneak runs. Two HP memories. We are buying 1, as well as some shotgun Bs for folder flow. Yeah. 3 shotgun Bs. And then we go into our friend Yai's to get a 2nd HP memory.
I mean, you can. There's 2 moments where you can do this. You can do this right now, or you can do this. I believe it was during license B, after the V-Tank fight. But yeah, I believe we timed this, and it was like a bit faster in single segment. Or it's simply worth it because of the shotguns.
And then now we have to go invite all of our friends to go camping. They're all going to say no, but Dex wants to fight us too. So yeah, we use this as a good opportunity to get the final component of the Gut Shoot PA, which is Gutsman.
Yeah, you can't get this before Airman. So this is our first opportunity to fight Gutsman.
Invite you could shoot Airman.
Just pickaxe first.
No. Just get punched.
Swag.
Just get punched.
Alright, that's good. The rank doesn't matter. You'll always get Gutsman G. He doesn't do really enough damage to be super concerned.
Yep.
So that was good.
Yeah.
Swords are really good draws for him. I used 3 of them total. That's 240 damage.
Because you can bait him to the front. If you stand in the front, he's more likely to punch you. If you stand in the back, he's more likely to crack your panels. So just stand in front.
So, as I was saying, we invited all our friends to go on a camping trip. They all say no because they're lame. Or they're social distancing, who knows.
They're busy. Guy's literally on a world trip right now.
Yeah, well, she's lame. Anyway. So, we take this as an opportunity to go and become more of an official net battler. So, we go to Marine Harbor, and we start taking the B license test. If you played BN2 before, you know all about these license tests. Usually they are, you do a gauntlet of fights, they give you a task to do, which normally involves more fights, and then you do a final gauntlet of fights.
Right. 2 of them are story required, and then there are the extra and post-game ones.
And then you see the reverse quantity sort, which puts wide sword at the top, but also the 2 dashes as well.
That's pretty nice. We reg dash, guard, I believe, right?
Yeah, guard is regged for this. It works really well on a lot of these fights. I drew Gut Shoot.
Gutsman.
Wow.
Gut Shoot.
Yeah, you just do the PA. The other nice thing is that getting custom is really good because it's just better than the other styles for the speedrun, but the only fights that count towards your style change are the ones that have a reward screen, and so these forced fights, the gauntlets, don't contribute, so we're able to use defensive chips like Guard Star on Reg and not have to worry about the consequences of potentially getting shield style.
Or, team style.
Oh.
That,
Use the guard a little early there.
Yeah.
you get team style and being 2, be impressed.
So yeah, a lot of the fights during the early game did count towards style change, so I guess this is a good opportunity to talk about that while I dash through some bunnies real quick. Very nice setup. But basically, at the end of every fight with a reward screen, the game checks how you performed and decides whether or not you should get points towards a particular style. So for example, if you're selecting a lot of chips in the fight, you will get a custom point. If you are using things like guard, or not even using actually, it's just selecting on the custom screen. So selecting a guard or recovery chips will get you shield style. Using your buster a lot will get you guts style. Using Navi chips, as we've alluded to, gets you team style. So ideally, we want to be selecting around 3 chips on custom screens that have rewards screens. And this, in most cases, will guarantee that we're getting a custom point from the fight. If we want to select a guard, in order to outweigh the shield points that you'd be getting, you would need to select 3 other chips, so 4 total chips on the custom screen.
Or do a program advance, because
Yes.
TAs give you points in addition to the chip selection.
Yes.
Right.
So overall, like a lot of those early fights, it was just
Set up. No, unfortunate.
yeah, I didn't.
You
draw.
draw the dash on this, and it's got a not too easy setup to get a triple kill.
I
The
can't
B-tanks
do.
are kind of annoying.
I can't do the left. I used to be able to, but I can no longer do the moving left and right one. So Dallas taught me that if you just like move in a circle, you just go
Yeah.
left and then down and around. It works really well. It does the same number of movements to set up the trick.
Yeah, you need to move 9 times, however you want, so you can move. We used to do like go to the left and all the way to the right, all the way to left or something. But I just, I like going in a circle because I
Yep.
find it easier to buffer because I don't have to go from the left to right. I'm just buffering always.
Yep.
So I find it a bit easier. Yeah, we still some stuff from Texas because beat code.
Borrowed
It's good.
from our good friend Dex.
Yeah. So it's a quick detour to grab whatchamacallit, 800 Zenny and a Guts Punch B.
Are we gonna talk about the guy that cannot walk?
Yeah, so this Navi that we're
And-
helping out, he can't walk, basically. And
Someone
someone's,
stole his walk prog,
yeah.
and so we got to get the nice data so we can continue taking our license exam.
Well, no, we
This
get
is
the
Battle Network
walk
too.
prog. Nice data, I think it's something.
He just
else.
gave it to us. We get the walk
Oh,
prog from
he
the bad
gave,
Navi.
yeah, right.
Give it to him, and then we get the nice data, which proves that we're good people and deserve to take license exams.
Don't question it.
Ooh,
Why did I use it? What am I thinking?
That is a good question. You
Oh,
were pre-committed to the
I was pre-committed to baiting.
plan.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't I just go for it?
It's possible that he attacked. Oh, Gutsman!
Please
Start with
use
Gutsman.
guts.
This
Yeah,
fight
is-
I used it first. Please, this fight is so bad. Pretty much every like guard doesn't work on this because the shockwave doesn't reach the Metar in time. I wonder if I even
Yeah.
show it or if I just buster. I think I just buster.
You probably don't, because you know better.
But
Even
yeah.
past Risch knows better.
Yeah, this fight is so miserable. That was a really good fight because Gutsman you can use before they go like into their helmets.
So you've drawn like gut shield on every single one of these.
I didn't move enough.
Right.
I didn't know how to properly set that one up at the time. He's stuck there though, so we just used the guard.
At least he still attacks. It's not like, oh, I can't move, so I can't attack.
Yep. I drew Gutsman on basically every fight, which is why we do the
Funny.
reverse quantity sort. Gutsman is
Yeah.
like literally slot 5, and we've mentioned this in many past speedrunning like situations that chips at the top of your folder you are more likely to draw. So due to a shuffling quirk of the game.
I swear BN2 shuffle algorithm is even worse. Because, like, slot 2, my gosh, so strong.
Ooh.
I was thinking
again,
about how to set this up. I don't know what I'm
It depends
thinking.
on if the B tank attacks or not. But then you
Oh,
can just
I
like,
did do
go
that
on the
pretty-
bottom. Yeah.
Oh,
it-
yeah,
it-
that's.
When he attacks, it works out to where most of the time it's good. But if the B tank does 2 attacks, like quick attacks, then it won't.
Mhm.
Or if he doesn't attack at all.
Yeah, this fight can be really tough. You don't have any breaking
impossible.
chips at this point, so you just have to deal with the fact that those guys, you have to.
Breaking chips. What is this Battle Network? Is What was it? Was it one? You
Yeah,
threw like
I thought
Quake on the
BN
hardhead,
I
and he's
thought
just like, nah.
I thought Quake would break, and it's like, oh, breaking's not a thing yet, and I didn't know that.
That's funny. The look of disappointment. Game. Well, we got the B license. Good job, Land. Now we can go camping.
Yeah, so in the meantime, we were getting emails from all of our friends, including Chad, who we didn't even invite initially. I don't know how he knew, but everyone was just like, yeah, we can go camping, and then Chad's like, no, thank you. I'm also lame, I don't want to go camping with you. And then he shows up anyway.
Oh, something bees. Carry on.
Yeah, not the bees. I still don't know like how you're supposed to figure out some of these. Like, why would you interact with something that's not on? Like, you just interact with nothing. What?
I don't know. Ask your kid self.
I played this game in college for the first time, so I don't know how I figured it out even. And then take a quick
Guardian.
detour. Yep.
For the slightly off-centered blue mystery data.
Worst blue mystery data in the history of this entire game. Oh my god, it annoys me. And now, bear.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna find some binoculars back here because that's reasonable, and then
Dash.
and then find out that this is in fact a mechanical bear, so it's clearly not as scary, and we can just still run up to it and jack in. But first, we must grab, I believe, a reg up. Yes.
Yes.
We're grabbing a lot of reg ups. This is so that we can reg different things, such as dash later on. But also in the future, we're actually gonna reg a mega chip because we can. Shoutouts to Dallas for coming up with that strat.
You took one dash, so can you pause?
Okay.
And go back. There's a quirk with this spiky fight that I think is important. Whoa. Get it to right before they attack.
Okay. 1.
Actually,
2,
you made the mistake. You got lucky here. So go back to right before they move to line up.
I see what you're saying now. I've never even thought of that.
Yeah, have you seen dash not work?
I've seen it not work. Yeah, I know.
So here's the deal. Spikies normally move randomly. They just pick a tile, they move to it. If they get in each other's way, it doesn't matter most of the time. But whenever they go to attack you, they will each take turns trying to move as close as possible to you. But the one in front, like, because Risch is standing in a row with one of them right now, it's possible that one of these spikies, depending on the order that they move in, occupies 2 spaces at the same time. And so only 2 of them will line up and the third one will go somewhere else. So the only strat to this fight that you have to keep in mind is that after they've moved 3 times here, the next one they're going to line up. You need to make sure, if at all possible, you stand in an empty row so that way they don't block each other.
So in this case, I should have moved up.
Yeah. Because it's like most of the time it'll work, but every now and then it's like, why didn't the spikies line up? Because it's when we're routing out RNG manipulation, every time they move, they advanced RNG, except when they move to attack. So the fact that it doesn't call RNG means that they're doing it algorithmically, so they're just like, find Mega Man's row, move as close as possible. It's crazy.
So yeah, but on the 4th attack, they will, or the 4th movement, they will always attack, which means they will try to line up, as you said, which is why dash is such a good draw here. 90 damage, they have 90 health, and as you can see, they die.
And that's, well, technically, since you only took 1 shift, that was a shield point fight, because you didn't get hit, so you made a mistake there. And
it's fine. Risch just kind of gets custom salad. Don't worry about it. I've been in his chat long enough.
If you get a good rank, you will get heat shot from that fight. And if the dash draw, it's heat shot. What, B?
B
or
yeah.
G?
B.
So B has better folder flow early on. G will have better folder flow later. So it depends if you keep it in or not. Shout out to that old scientist that gives us bubbler G. That I didn't know about forever.
Yeah, and it's something you can lose out on, right? It's not something...
Yeah, he's only there, like, he's already gone.
Yeah.
It's your only opportunity to get that free chip.
this conveniently
right.
located sub-chip dealer.
One sneak
Yeah,
run
it
before every comp.
honestly, like the Zenny route and the sneak run route and the level up and everything, it just worked out just exactly conveniently perfectly for the speed run.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy.
Because now we're about to start bomb comps.
Yeah.
For those that aren't familiar, bomb comps, just also a quick note, I run past the PET because that way, if you jack in before it,
It's annoying.
it's sometimes hard to get past it afterwards. So
Can you talk about the dungeon and then talk about levels for why we're sneak running?
yes.
Okay.
This is bomb comps. Basically, there's a bunch of different paths that the game thinks or lets you think you can take. However, when you run into certain bad paths, they will explode and the path will no longer be accessible. These paths are in no way ever accessible. It's just you have to know where the explosions are going to occur. And so by knowing and having these comps absolutely memorized, you can never cause an explosion whatsoever.
Except, that one time, but
It's a 50-50.
I think I
it's
avoid
fun.
it. I think I avoid it anyway. I take
It's
the
Yeah.
fun.
frames.
Whenever you watch someone learn this game or a blind race, it's like always make sure to catch bomb comps because it's like, all right, let's count the mines. That's
Yep.
the game.
There's
How
also
good
a
of a
lot
minesweeper is.
there's a lot of really good mystery data in here. HP mems. I believe there's a wide sword in this particular comp that I
Yeah.
should be grabbing. HP.
No, it's back. Did you miss it?
No.
What?
It's
Oh,
No,
we
you guys-
get it from
you
the
have
back
to get it from this side because then you don't cause an
Trigger the
explosion.
bomb. It's so good.
right.
So that's
There's
the
also
wide
a
sword.
panel grab L,
Yeah.
which I don't think we get,
Nope.
but it is L coded.
But yeah, there's like a lot of Zenny in here too. I think there's some good Zenny.
Yeah.
Forget
There's
the
like
exact
the
amounts.
best BMD with Sunny in the way. There's like literally in the way. How much was it? Like 3,000 or something?
Yeah, I think I was gonna say. I think there's a
Is
3,000.
the most efficient Zenny you can get in the entire game. Only once though.
Right.
But yeah. So then to talk about levels a little bit. Basically, in BN1 and 2, they have this concept of levels, which is basically supposed to indicate how strong Mega Man is. And in BN2's I guess BN1 and 2 both have them.
Yeah.
They are based on how many HP memories you've picked up. I believe 1 HP memory equates to 1 level, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you also can get these things called power-ups to improve your buster. So you can put these power-ups into attack or rapid or charge. This is before the Namicust, so that's how
It's
you...
suspicious. It's my favorite line. Carry on.
So by putting these power-ups into your buster, they will also increase your level. I don't know
By
exactly
3.
how much. It's by 3? Okay, thank you.
3. Wow.
Yeah, so I do cut. Right there, you could cause an explosion if you're not lucky. And right here, I do slightly suboptimal movement because you can cause an explosion if you're too close.
I mean, is it
Yeah.
suboptimal if you avoid the explosion?
I mean, it looks suboptimal to the untrained eye. Yeah, I'll talk about bug frags actually in a sec too. But so anyway.
Oh, we do it when we pick up the shop.
Okay. So yeah, in terms of the levels, once you the way that sneak running works in this game is it's based on Mega Man's level. So there's the 3000 Zenny.
We might need to revisit because I think you should explain. Or do you want
Yeah.
to pause and finish talking, and then we'll do
Yeah.
a quick man? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for each area has a certain threshold that it's checking your level for. And so if you are above that threshold, you can use sneak run and avoid all random encounters. I believe BN2's is slightly, I forget if it's bugged or whatever, but
yeah, 2 and 3 both have bugs.
yeah. So ideally,
well, run rates. Technically, the sneak run isn't a bug because it's just a threshold.
yeah,
But the running is bugged in both games.
yeah. In this game in particular, the run rate is actually worse than the sneak run rate. So in most cases, you might be able to sneak run from encounters, but you can't actually run away from them first try. It's actually the opposite of BN3. So with that in mind,
Yeah.
we are only trying to hit the level thresholds to sneak run, because then we just buy sneak runs and skip the encounters anyway. And I think we actually hit the perfect level threshold that we are able to sneak run in every area after Airman.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we basically just barely keep up with it in NF51.
and then, so now, in terms of Quick Man, at this point we have built our folder such that we have Guts Shoot in it. So basically, I'm just going to add chips until I have a full 10 chip custom screen, and then try to find Guts Shoot. And now I guess one of you guys can also talk about Quick Man's pattern as well.
Yeah, you want to do that, Dallas?
Okay, yeah, so he's basically invincible except for the very first frame of the fight. So you can technically shoot him the very first frame. And then he moves 6 times, which is vulnerable while he moves. And then he'll stop, attack you through this boomerang that actually acts as a shield. So any projectiles that hits the boomerang, including a shoot, will chill him. And then he'll be vulnerable for a while until he, starts stopping the attacks again until we move. So for the we can whenever we have to use get shoot, we can either count to 6 and throw press A to get shoot right before he attacks, or just take the hit, take it safe, and get shoot as soon as you get hit.
I think I'm no coward. Yep.
Nice.
Got it before the boomerang. And there we go. So that was actually a really slow Gutsman. I kind of bottom decked Gutsman there. But overall, like, that's just how the fight goes.
Yeah, usually it's okay. Where's Gutsman? Because you have 2 or 3 guards and two dashes.
I have guard regged. I have 2 dashes, which are at the top of the folder, and one of them is bound to be drawn. And then I'm just basically waiting on Gutsman most of the time.
Yep. So now that that's done, it's time for a license.
Thank you to the M1GP for the raid.
Mm-hmm.
They are the premier Mega Man Battle Network online PvP community. Check them out. Okay. Oh, we go shopping. This is where we get the swords, right?
Yes.
It's so good.
3
Do you get
wide
to
sword
them or
outs.
later?
Later.
No, later.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I always like talking about the story, but at this point, Lan is trying to get a pen pal because he finds a pen pal because someone sent a balloon with a message from Yumland. And now Lan is really hungry because of that and wants to try out Yumland's food, so he's going to go try and contact this person. But in order to make it to Yumland on the internet, we find out that we need the A license.
Oh, I forgot about this.
You can't use international internet unless you're qualified.
Yep. And now, for the A license, unlike the B license, there's some prerequisites that they ask you to do, which is to introduce the help BBS in this game. So they ask you to do 3 missions. They're actually just named missions 1, 2, and 3. And so these are just help requests that we are forced to do as part of the story.
Yeah.
This first one is literally just like a fetch quest. Just go talk to a person, go talk to a program, go talk to a person.
Yep.
That's great. You get an HP mem, and you get to listen to the Okuden theme. Normally, you don't, because we're playing remixes. But
it's
this
unfortunate.
is the only relaxing part.
You also don't get to hear me press R to the beat here as well. So,
oh yeah. The only optimization, and Risch has done it here, is knowing which direction to hold in each transition to save a turn frame.
Yep.
That's literally it.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, if you miss it, you're probably gonna be. Oh no, I lost a frame, which bothers Risch a lot.
Oh, that
yeah.
Run dead. Run dead. Did you see me bonk on the metro? That's run dead right there.
Nice. But yeah, after that we're gonna have another pseudo fetch quest. Also as a single fight and 3 fights an extra fight that we're gonna take against Gutsman B2 coming up in a bit,
Yeah.
which is the main reason why we bought the White Source for those 3 fights. Gutsman B2 and the Gauntlet that will come up ahead.
Yes. Yes. Wide swords are really good on the fights, specifically in this split, more than anything else.
Yep. And since we can slot stack and they are L code, it's like our folder gets better. It has more flow. It's just really nice, and we have more than enough Zenny to be able to afford the wide sword. So this was one of the more recent changes, because in general you want to try and cut as much as possible. Wide swords are optional and extra, and we eventually do remove them anyway. But the potential upsides are real good. Hopefully will be demonstrated.
Yeah, because you can just end the fights immediately. They're just that good. So.
Small optimizations that are basically just for swag, but specifically in BN 1 through 3, it's much easier than the others. You can interact with an NPC and then turn away from them, so you swag talk to them, as we call it, and this lets you actually make a small bit of progress in the direction you need to be going. So you'll see me do that every now and then when I'm feeling confident.
It's like up to 3 frames, but if you swag talk to the wrong thing, you'll soft lock your game.
So this second
to Kilios.
Yes.
Right, carry on.
So this second help request is the one with 3 fights. We talked to this guy. He tells us that there are 3 navies that escaped. But first, before we worry about that, we're gonna fight.
Did you already edit your folder? Or we do it after?
We do it after because we want to add.
Put it in. Yeah. That's
we want to add Gutsman V2 anyway. So we're trying to draw a gut shoot on this fight anyway.
When I kill Gutsman with gut shoot. Yeah, that's the main strat, but depending on your draw sometimes, you just want to sword and use your guards and dashes.
I don't know why I moved back too far. Doesn't matter though, because now I'm just in a point where all I need is gut shoot. But on this fight, because he has such little HP, and our folder does do a bit of damage with swords, I do take like chips instead of adding, just so that I'm not reliant. I was praying.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, this draw was not the best. I'm gonna draw a Gutsman on this draw, I believe. I think if I have any recollection of this run at all.
What at this point you've gone through? No.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And there we go. So now we have Gutsman V2, and then one of the navies is in here. And actually, before we even do the folder edit, there's one more chip we're gonna pick up.
Mini bomb star. Nice.
Folder flow. Versus Shoney's not the best at mini bombs, but hey, at least it gets rid of something else in our folder. That's a clean edit. I like that.
Yeah. Like from this point on, for a while now, the only really random chip we had it was what, heater.
Yeah, heat shot B or G would be the variants.
Yeah, so you usually Risch has a very clear idea of what is removing, what is not, and it accounts for that. So, yeah, folder edits in B and 2 single segment are really straightforward.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
And because you sort right at the end too, like your next folder edit is going to be very consistent. You just have to know exactly what slots chips are going to be in.
Oh, wide sword.
Yeah.
These spikies somehow, just their movement algorithm, do this thing where it's like they'll all jump to the front, they'll all jump to the back, they'll all jump to the back.
Yep. It's great.
Half the time. The other half of the time, it's sort of something weird,
So since we had to grab those 2 BMDs, we grab one, then we do the fight. After finishing the fight, the step counter gets reset, so we grab the other without getting any encounters. It's pretty nice.
That's so jacking into the blackboard by holding up left to get the right distance to quickly go.
Yep.
Oh, these flamies. So,
Ooh.
can you pause?
Yep.
To go back to the start of the fight, this is one of the more complicated fights, and I think there's 2 in the speed run where it's reasonable or conceivable that you would die, especially as a casual player, because they're just much harder than the surrounding fights. This one and the sortie fight, because these 2 flamies, the one on the bottom is going to stay put, but the flamey 3 in the back, after a while, will jump into the same row as you in a random panel, so it may be the front, the middle, the back, and depending on the chips that you draw, if you get a dash or a sword, you're going to try and either, like, I want them to come to the front, or I want them to line up in a row. Dash attack is the more interesting fight because you got to time the move down, but here Risch got 2 wide swords, so he's just going to stay in the middle, I guess? Middle area.
I tried to time movement up to... Or actually, I tried to just assume that the guy was going to jump to the front. It's a 1 in 3. I'll restart it so you can see. So actually, I just destroyed that one right away.
I think you can guard that.
And
it doesn't actually work, but...
Yeah. So I actually just wait there.
Bubbler!
Yeah, I figured it out. I figured it out eventually. I actually just wait there because then I can bait a second attack out where he won't be, like, breaking more of my panels, and I can actually dodge it.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes, that was a reasonable fight with the bubbler.
Mm-hmm.
And you always get 500 zenny from that fight.
Mm.
There's a couple like that.
Pretty neat to roundhouse Sunny.
Mm-hmm. And so those are the 3 fights, and now...
Rag up.
Yeah, he gives us
do
1
it in this order because this gets us rag up. We almost have as many as we need for dash, which is particularly good for a few fights. The next one and the A license gauntlets coming up. So this next mission, there's a virus in the coffee machine. That's why the coffee doesn't taste very good. But we got to go to a new area actually, and this is where we're gonna buy and use a power up as well. So we maintain sneak run.
Yeah.
Just enough. The 3,000 zenny from that bomb comp coming in real handy.
Yes. We buy attack plus 10s here too, actually.
Yeah.
Nice sneak run.
Maybe. So we buy 2 attack plus 10s. Really all we can get away with, but it just adds to the folder flow. And attack plus 10s work really well with Gator later on. We also picked up a power up earlier on, I think in bomb comps actually, so we have 2 points in charge now. The reason we put points in charge is because at this point we're still not going to use the Buster. However, once we get our style change, the damage on the Buster, I believe, does not really get impacted by attack.
Yeah.
So
Depends on your level
yeah.
entirely.
Yeah, so the charge...
Or the styles level.
Yeah, so
the styles can level. BN2 had so many crazy things in it.
Yep.
Alright, carry on.
So the charge attack for the style change will not change, regardless of how many points you put in attack. So you just want to be able to charge it as fast as possible. So that's why we put points into charge.
And not quite your charges crazy fast.
Yeah.
So previously it's like you'd talk to this guy, we do the fight, and then we get the reg up. But actually it turns out, hey, you know, if you get the reg up before you do the fight, you can reg dash attack, and wouldn't you know it, all 3 ghosts are lined up, and he's got star. God, regging dash star is so good, because it still flows. Normally you'd have Gene, it wouldn't matter. You get the odd prog. So these 3 spookies, now they can move up, they can move down, we don't know, we're just gonna gamble.
That too.
And you get the double. And the other one that didn't go to the bottom stayed in the front, so you can wide sword him.
Yep.
With your dash star. That's a good fight. That's a good draw. Previously, it's got some V2 attack plus 10 is about all we're looking for, but that was clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the power of folder flow at this point. Like, even though we have a good program advance for bosses, like every other fight, we don't want to guts shoot on. So the folder flow lets us get to our very powerful chips that work on these virus fights.
I love that sneak reuse.
Oh, when I do it on a
Risch's,
turn frame?
Yep.
I was watching Tarragona today, and his movement is so tight.
Yep.
It's incredible. No wonder he's like 10 minutes better than everyone else.
Yeah. He's insane. So yeah, now I just have to
Okay,
go
what is
back.
speed
Does a
runner?
practice run? It's second place. It's okay. I'll PB tomorrow. Can't
Yep.
wait for Battle Network 3 world record review.
It's gonna be great. So yeah, we just have to come back here and talk to this guy after we defeated.
So we
that
got a
last fight.
Recup 30 star here. And actually, before you take the A license, after you get the A license, you can leave the room, talk to the guy, and you get Recup 50 star. But it's slower to do that, so we won't.
That was a
Yeah, but-
cutscene skip, by the way.
Yeah.
There's some really weird looking ones in BN2. You'll just see like
Yeah.
a text box start to appear and then go away.
Or and under that, your screen just.
Oh, that one is so good.
Castle Comp 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It's like, why did the music repeat? Don't worry about it. It's like, oh, I see. That's where you splice the row. Oh, Risch.
I was so. There are two ways you can do this. I was trying to figure out a slightly faster way to time the dash usage on the hardhead. And so I got punished for it because I was wrong.
Dash is actually really, or not Dash. Reflect is actually
Yeah.
really
Nice.
good on the spookies, which you have to punch is fine because you can hit them twice essentially when they go to attack you, and then we didn't get the white sword, and when they go back to their original position.
Yeah, it was not.
Do you not
I was
know?
trying to be fast. I don't know if I knew. I know now for sure. I was just like, why am I gonna use this dash here? I know I'm going to, but why am I gonna do it?
Could guard the explosion as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
we have a 1 damage buster. These bombs have 10 HP. The Battle Network series is inconsistent about whether Dash can pierce objects or not. That's a good fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Press A win. So it's
This
like
one-
one of the things about refining, and you do the +10, refining a specific Battle Network speedrun is understanding kind of the subtle quirks about the mechanics for your particular game. Like, how do I use every single battle chip in every single fight? Because the more you know, the more different draws you can take advantage of and do quickly.
Yep. There's two important things to note in basically.
Hard fight.
Yes. I don't know how I
But
handle
pause
this.
it.
Yep.
Pause it and explain. Well, actually, let's watch how you do it. Because hopefully you do the. Well, you got wide swords, so maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
so you didn't
care.
line them up, but that because you had wide swords, this makes more sense. You can get them to line up, which is particularly good with dash, and it's safe.
Yeah.
Because if you do that fight wrong, you'll probably die because you'll get area locked, and they do a lot of damage. And we only have 220 health.
Mm. But what I was gonna say was a key thing in basically any BN speedrun, as Tara mentioned, like there's two components to it. Is one is knowing what you should be doing in the optimal case, like what is my best draw, so you know to look for it immediately. And the second thing is what Tara said, which is, okay, how do I take advantage of other mechanics in order to be able to deal with this fight quickly? So knowing exactly what everything does helps with that.
Shoutouts to the tool assisted speedrun. This is the fight that it gets guard star on.
True.
Hey, Drew Gutsman.
I misjudged it, but I got that one. There we
Oh.
go.
Not even
You
pause
can-
buffer.
Yeah, you can pause buffer the move, and it gives you a much bigger window.
Nope. No need.
Back.
They don't move into your row. So, or actually, do
Well,
they?
it'll be like 50-50 up or down. So it's like you pause it, you move up or down, and then you buffer. Or you can just
You can
chance
react.
it, maybe miss.
You can react fast enough.
Yes, you can. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that would make it easier. You don't when you speedrun these games, you don't always have to do the hardest, fastest thing. You can.
I need to.
But there are like usually an easier, more consistent way to do most things.
Shoutouts to Dallas for reminding me that this is a good thing. Using the wide sword first, so that when they line up, they just die.
It's nice.
He told me that once, and like I think it was the same run that I realized it, and I was like, God dang it! But Dallas got to tell me about it, so shoutouts to Dallas.
Yeah. I played TeamBN2.
It only works because you have dash star.
Yeah.
If you had dash G, you wouldn't be able to take both. And oh, you got good pattern on the
I
bunnies.
really hate that fight because if you get hit at any point during that, you just die because they all start stun locking
Oh,
you.
and you
Oh
moved
my
up. You're so
god.
lucky.
That's the,
That is a good draw.
that's
That's
like
about
in my
the
neck
best
draw.
of
What
it.
the hell? Wow.
And I did
Yeah.
it perfectly too. Holy.
Yeah, that second gauntlet was good. So this is where you could actually jack out, leave the room, and get the recuff 50 star. But the only thing left in this scenario is to go to Yumland and fight Cut Man. And you can just
Yeah.
go straight there. So we're going to do that.
So you saw how good Dash was in those gauntlets.
I just remembered the dumb glitch that you could do
Oh,
with this
right.
the security cube. So there's that cutscene that you have when you get the A coded or not the A code, the A license. You can technically open the menu or jack out, for instance, between the time that the fight ends and the cutscene starts. So it's actually a cutscene after you get the A license, but before like you're allowed to move again, right? So you get the A license, you jack out before the cutscene triggers, and the game thinks you have the A license, so you enter and talk to the security cube, but the game doesn't think you should be able to get through, so it just does nothing. The cube doesn't open, no text box appears to tell you you can't get through. And then you go back to the net square, you trigger the cutscene because you just have to be in there, and you go back, and the cube just opens upon entering Den 3. Just the moment you enter. It's the weirdest thing.
It's
Wow.
great.
I was trying to figure out if there's anything fancy you could do with that cutscene,
No.
but no. You can just do that dumb glitch.
Like, it has interesting glitches. Like it has like an out of bounds part and whatnot, but
It's
It just
useless
leads
because it's like
nowhere.
males HP or whatever.
yeah.
So this is
Only on the Japanese version, right?
Yeah.
This is Cutman. It's basically draw a bunch of wide swords and gut shoot. That's the
Which
fight.
only deals 400.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
the fight.
Well, there
Cutman
it is.
follows a pattern too. Depending on how much health he has, will determine how many moves before he attacks. And if you're standing in the front, he will try to do a short range attack. And if you're not standing in the front, he'll do his long range attack.
If he
So this is
hasn't,
like he's gonna move twice.
Yep.
attack.
if he doesn't have a whatchamacallit, one of those scissors just running around the outside, he will summon that instead.
That's true. He always wants to have one of those. There's a few things that can get rid of it. Some stuff. That was a good fight.
His battle is really easy, but he hits really hard.
Oh yeah, if you start getting hit too much, you just die. This is also a newer addition to the route. Not just this, but picking up. There's two things in this comp. One is the unlocker, and also I believe this is the ninth bug frag. Yeah. So now we have
Are we getting
9 bug
Stock?
frags.
What are we doing?
Hmm?
Why 9? Crossgun?
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, you added that, Tara?
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do we also get shotgun star? How far did I take this?
We don't.
I guess the unlocker was worth it, so then I made the bug very easier.
We're also picking up an optional request called Need a Cupid. The reason that we do this is it gets us a lot of Zenny.
10k.
Yeah. This is a newer addition to the route. Shoutouts to Dallas for this. You talk to your dad and then immediately jack in here to grab a reg up, if I'm not mistaken, 2.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this.
So usually in the previous round before like even Terra or I or Risch, well Terra again I guess picked this up, you usually would just pick up 12 megabytes to reg dash and then you just be like reg full cast and try to get one of your many copies of Game Man. But then when I came out I was like
3 full cust. Oh man,
oh
them
I
were the
was like,
days.
Yeah, can because I realized Gateman had requirements for rigging was 24 megabytes, and I was like, why don't we just rig Gateman? We started to look at the extra reg apps we could pick up, and it turned out it barely took any time. Like you saw, they're just jack in 5 seconds to grab it or move slightly off the way some cups, and just like that, not throughout the run, we grabbed 24 megabytes because we read Gateman, which makes Gator so much easier in the late game. Like uh, first try or top deck or is second custom screen at worst.
Hmm. If you mash
is-
through this guy's text fast enough, you can just squeeze through before she gets back. I love doing that.
Shoutouts to
Yeah.
vertical movement.
Yep.
Yep.
And then this is the start of the help request. Luckily, I didn't forget this. This was something that took me really long time to remember to start doing, was talking to this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just gives you a love letter that you have to give to someone else.
Love let R.
Don't worry
but
about it
we're
for
gonna
now.
delay it quite a bit.
Yeah. We just take it and then, we go and save Scilab or whatever for a little bit, and then we get back to his request.
Right. Because we don't really need the city right now. We just need it for like Iceman scenarios so we can buy power ups and sneak runs and stuff like that.
We also no, this one we need.
Wasted a turn frame. I'm gonna call you on it.
Okay, you're probably right. We need that Zenny for buying Wind and Fan Star.
Right.
So that
Oh,
happens.
because we run it before the air. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we get this just before we go to Natopia.
Mhm. So what were we doing now?
We're going to Koto Square because we're basically on a fetch quest, where we talk
Oh,
to
right.
someone and they tell
Style
us more information. Yeah, we're trying to get changed up.
Oh, the unlocker. That always reminds me. It's like you use
Yeah.
the sneak run and you're like, why do I have an unlocker? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This
It's
right
the
here.
same thing for me.
Same.
It's the exact same thing for me. What was
There's
in
a lot of
that was a power up, right?
backtrack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep, it's good.
So that's one power up. I believe we want a second one from somewhere.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
know where it
use
is. I
two.
know where it is. Now I remember. It's the one in Dad's lab coat.
Which we pick up to put us on the perfect cycle to waitress skip.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
I forget how cleanly I got it on this one, or if I even just messed it up, honestly. I'm usually really clean at waitress skip, but I forget.
Oh, bug frags.
Yes.
Just explain that.
So now,
Right.
throughout the run, in BN2, bug frags are not something you get from like GMDs or from fights or anything like that.
There. 32 blue mystery data.
Yes.
Oh, you got the box.
Yep. So we just pick up these blue mystery. We pick up 9 specifically, and we buy 2 things. One is a cross gun star, just to add to the folder flow, because why not? And the second thing is attack plus 30, which is a really good chip, especially when used in combination with Gator. It's basically going to be a required draw. I am thinking about my edit, how I'm doing this menuing section. I figured it out
When you use a
eventually.
sneak run, it gives you control. So that's why Risch went back, because instead of opening the menu twice, do the edit, do the sneak run, and then just carry on.
Yep. And
There's
so-
all these purple, or not purple, orange?
Orange, yeah.
Orange navs. Official navies on the internet because Yumland got destroyed, and then they're like, you're next, Natopia. Or you like Topia, you're next.
And that folder edit was adding a bunch of star codes, specifically Navi plus 20, which can be useful in some cases with Gutsman, or even
you
Gateman
did try it,
later.
yeah.
And then we also add attack plus 30, which is really good, and crossgun star.
Yeah. Navi plus 20, the main use for that is stop ring 2B
Yes. Yes. Soon. I forget if I got it at this point or if I had to do the backup. I honestly don't remember.
Costs literally 1 minute. I mean, it's like you got 2 chances to get it, maybe.
Right. I mean, there are other backups, but you know.
Yeah, I can pull off many backups.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I
So
remember Raul's
right now,
radio.
there's sad music playing and an alarm. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts, but you don't have to do this. So we stole Yumland's national treasure, and now we have to fight our way out. There's like 4 encounters, and these are pretty bad.
Ooh. Oh my
Beautiful.
That was a good draw, and they line up. That was lucky.
Easy.
And you get Invis 3-star. That's insane. Did you put that in the folder?
No.
It's not time stop.
It's not. It's good, but
it's so good.
it's really good, but.
So here's the fight. Zappering 2B didn't get it, so we're gonna get add. So Risch is gonna try and dodge. If you get the triple kill, time doesn't matter. You can try and do 10 buster shots on the on the meteor guy. I'm surprised you're not doing that, because then you can do Gutsman with 1 less +10.
I already have a +10.
Gutsman V2
never
plus
think
10.
I never think to do that though. Is the problem?
It is, you know, if you aren't Risch and you can't just rely on either really good or really bad luck.
Okay, this is how
See,
I do it instead.
this
This is how I
works.
do it instead.
If Risch had done 10 buster shots, Gutsman V2 plus 20 would have been enough, but he had to take the bubbler instead. But you know, it's Risch.
Yep.
I
I
didn't
still
get
got
that.
this any.
So,
Did I get it from the last fight?
We'll find out. This
the
one's
thing
kind of
is-
tough too, because if you try and kill the sortie, he'll get healed. You need to save like a big hit. But Gutsman V2 plus 10 is the draw that you want to see on most of these fights, because it'll take out the ghost. Now we just wait.
Yeah, busting this guy is not fast enough compared to just waiting for the custom screen.
yeah.
Yeah. Didn't
That's
take
a-
the battleship.
So are these
care about custom play. I
areas
guess
still after 3
I'd already
attacks,
taken
so-
enough
Gutsman.
chips on the first turn.
What was it going to be team, because you took Gutsman,
Yeah, but a team point is not a shield point, so.
which is the main thing. But if you take in
Oh.
more,
Yeah,
maybe.
so
you could counter.
I'm going for it here. I'm praying for the 1 in 3.
I mean, it's the. Where?
Wow, look at all those attack
Well,
plus
there's a-
10s.
You've got all the. You only need. I guess if you had Gutsman V1, you'd want some of the plus 10s.
Yeah, that's why I left 2 of
I
them.
love 2 of them.
Unless you.
Gutsman does
buster.
50, Gutsman V2. Yep. Well, bustering in this is harder because
Yeah.
They hide.
Guitar
He
always
will
in the front.
and they'll always hide behind
Ooh.
the.
Nope. He's right there in the front, and he's like, you know, Risch, you could have shot me 10 times right.
And
Easy.
wow, with rank 10. Wow. Okay.
Risch is facing it. He just got wide-eyed, like, whatever, you know, just get lucky. I'm sure that's what he's saying right now.
So we're just
So
gonna buy the
we-
4 sneak runs at this
Yeah.
point. Somehow talk to that lady instead of the elevator.
So we talked to that until it gets stacked. Zappering 2B, we needed that because it's a story requirement chip that you have to give to someone.
Yeah. So it's a 50% for rank S and a 25% for rank 10. If you don't get hit ever and you keep adding, you will always, since it's a triple kill, you will always get at least rank 10. So that's what we look for. Because ideally you want to get it there. There are some backups where, you know,
Maybe
costs
plus
that.
20.
This is basically a boss fight, by the way.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
plus music, doesn't it?
How do I?
Yeah.
And you get 500 in it. You gonna face tank? Nah.
No
Stand at the
way.
bottom?
What? I should
You
be.
just gonna stand
I,
in the middle?
I should be
You're
standing
gonna
in the
try
bottom.
and die to poisons.
No, I moved.
Speaking of
Ooh,
which,
he chose
no
good, just double
fireball.
damage.
No.
Well, for single segment, I don't know if that is worth it because
Right.
you have to do the edit.
You'd have to do
Yeah,
an extra edit. It's off code, and now we get waitress skip.
I like it for a minute. So we talked to Dad, cutscene, reset stuff, pick up the power up, lines up. We're just gonna go for the first try. clean
Nice.
waitress skip.
Clean.
Yep. Because that's
Cool.
totally faster than walking around.
Yeah.
So
Screw
it's
horizontal
the best cutscene
movement.
in the game, and we skipped it. So now, the mother comps. Yeah, what's up with these?
Well, mother comps basically there's just a bunch of letters on the ground that you have to remember the path through. There's
Do you
hints that you get from the prods.
Remember how do you do this? You're like, oh, this is a CAT, or this is like, oh, this is bottom right up.
I just remember the path. I don't look
Yeah.
at the characters at all.
Same.
I forget if I do the. I definitely went for it. I don't know if I get it.
That is true. There's a glitch in here.
Yeah, there is a trick you can do here.
We aren't doing no major glitches. Oh.
Let me
It's
see.
a minor glitch.
I definitely go for it.
No reason
Nope.
not to.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So Risch,
I paused
there's
it.
Risch is sneak running, but he still got an encounter because the developers really want you to have a style. And so there's actually a trigger right there that when you step on it, if you haven't got a style change, it'll put you in a random encounter. You get a style change, and now we get to find out how good at chip selection Risch is. And he got custom, of course.
Okay, so
Which
I
is what we
missed it.
want.
Did Risch attempt the skip or the?
I definitely did, but it didn't look like it because I paused too late.
Okay.
So now Risch has a really good charge shot because it's bubbler and we got max charge. And also, custom style means that when we get into fights, we have 7 chips to select from instead of 5.
That's really good.
Shouts to Proto
Proto
Man.
Man shows up and insults you and then runs away.
Yep.
Also, the other interesting thing is all the HP memories and power-ups aren't enough to get you to level 100, and the rest levels that you're missing are from the style change. So, if you get the style change, when you get to Mother Comp 3, 4, and 5, the sneak run threshold is different, and if you do style change skip to get it on Shadow Man instead, you actually have to get an HP memory early, which is why I think we buy it in the square now. Otherwise, you could buy it later. Shoutouts to Sphere. What? Okay.
Nice.
Forgot that.
There's
that
also
would
a
happen.
shotgun, or sorry, wig, gem, mask, H knife.
Yep.
Shoutouts to Keys Around.
Yeah, so this comp is pretty straightforward. It's just run through at this point. I have the ability to sneak run from every fight, so spider.
Yeah. It's basically BN2 in a nutshell. It's a lot of movements, no encounters, just a sneak run.
Yep.
You don't have the movement.
That's B. That's the password. So this is the central computer for all of Electopia. What's the password? B.
B. No wonder they got hacked.
Raccoon.
Shadowman.exe is actually just a keylogger. Oh, this is my
Hold
favorite.
left.
Hold left. It's so good. I like watching new runners and then see like if they try and zigzag through there, and I'm just like making it hard on yourself.
System ahead.
Oh,
System
Look
close.
to the right, and you can see the GameCube logo. Oh, there it is. Spoilers. So here's Shadow Man. We have 2 copies of Gut Shoot and a good charge shot. Risch will either try to do 400 damage in 1 Gut Shoot or just
Yeah.
do 2 Gut Shoots.
Because you usually want to do 2, but if it takes too long to get the second one, since you already have 10 chips up
Ooh,
already, you're
yeah,
probably gonna
thanks.
be picking and using them. But usually you kind of really need 1 gut shoot.
Yeah.
And like Aqua Charge is so good.
Yeah.
Just bully him.
Okay. I did
He
this
didn't
Okay.
pick the,
in
you
a
did
very
the-
interesting
you just want to
order.
hit it first. So now you generally don't want to get him below 300 HP because that's when he summons his blue shadow clones, which are really annoying. But I
But
guess
Risch
Risch
did it
doesn't care.
anyway.
I'm a legend.
Let's see, let's see.
Okay. Also, he is 2
Bubbler
charge
match
shots and a
is
bubbler. Okay. Well, he's 3 charge shots from dead. There it is.
The
Nice.
shadow clones only do 10 damage, but they will body block you. It's
Mm-hmm.
awful.
Yeah,
That's a fine
you can
fight,
shoot
though.
through them, but they
Yeah.
will prevent you from moving onto their panel.
Yeah, you can cut them with swords, I believe.
Mm.
But kind of like nightmares. Oh.
So now we have to go get a passport so we can go on an international trip to Netopia because we were invited by the official Net Battlers Association.
Yeah, Lan's like, hey mom, I'm gonna go overseas, okay? And she's like, sure, Lan, be back for dinner.
Yep. And now is when we talk to Sunflower to give her the love letter. And she just friend zones him.
Oh. Yo, Mr. Famous.
And now...
Talk to her now, because it says like
What
what,
a
like
draw.
about frames.
It just threw it all away. So if you get Gateman below half health, exactly, so like 299 here.
I think it's actually
He will-
at the HP threshold, specifically.
Is it?
Yeah.
But no, because don't we gut shoot twice to avoid Remo Gate? So it's under half health.
Anyway,
Yeah.
carry
I
on.
played BN2 a lot more than Risch, trust me.
Carry on.
Yeah, it's right under. So 399.
He will summon Remo Gate, which is really annoying, and you're not going to see it. Hopefully.
On this fight. But we have to fight him twice. The first one, you get 500 Zenny, I think, and a HP memory from Mr. Famous.
Yeah, he's like, you're too weak. Try again. Ooh, top deck, got you. One copy. Let's go
Oh,
down.
he used the plus 10.
Well,
mistake.
yes.
No, he's about to use plus. I know.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I busted this guy down.
Yeah.
First.
This is the main reason why we use Aqua. We want Aqua, we want it for Aqua.
Those toy soldiers are so annoying. If you are wood, you can barely kill all three of them. If you're
plus 10
leg,
there.
you just have to cry in this fight. It's awful. Heat's okay. Aqua's the best though.
There's also some interesting setups with Dash Aqua style that will use an Isoman. But you know, that's another.
I want a passport. You're pretty. Sorry, Lan, you're too short.
So now we're gonna buy a couple sneak runs, 2 I believe.
It's a couple.
That's just enough for the next section before we can buy more. We're also going to do a folder edit here because we're about to lose all of our chips. And we want to take some stuff out of folder 2.
Put Invis 3-star in folder 2. So Mr. Famous also gave us folder 2, which is really good. Shoutouts to Rock Cube. Some
Yep.
actually cool strats with that in the next fight.
Oh, is it gonna happen?
No.
I hope so.
I don't even know what cool
There can
strats you're
be.
talking about.
Oh, you. Come on, you put the rock cube below the fish.
I know.
Yeah, really.
I was thinking of the next fight afterwards. I know with the fishy. But yeah, it won't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because we lose all of our chips, if we do that, we would still have access to our folders. However, we wouldn't be able to take chips out. So because of that, we want to do the folder edit first to make sure we're adding Gateman so that we have Gator at this point. Well, not at this point, actually. We have Gateman in, though. And we have folder the good chips from folder 2, which I think we took like an attack plus 10. No, we took like a
No,
Navi
we
plus
missed that.
20,
Navi
a Rock
plus 20.
Cube, and like some other star code.
Everything that's star.
Not
you get
star, star, rock you star.
So that trip to
Something
Okuden
like
is
that.
entirely optional, but we complete the job to get 10,000 Zenny and also pick up one of the gate keys.
Oh, right.
Optional ones. So that way we can use warps later, because warps
So-
are really convenient.
There are 2 routes for Iceman, but we'll talk about that later.
Gosh, Iceman is so confusing. Alright,
Give me
so
your
we just
passport,
lost
yes.
our PET and we got mugged. But we go complain to Chad, and he gives us our PET back because he's like, I'm an official, haha, I took your PET. And then Lan learns how to speak Netopia right here. Cool. And now we're going to talk to Johnny Bravo, the nicest mugger ever. And he's like, oh, you want your money back? Sure, 1v1 me, bro.
And even if you lose this fight, you don't game over.
Whoa, that was close.
You can
Timing.
keep trying.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Easiest dash attack D of my
The-
life.
Oh,
Did
can't
the-
escape it. And now we get all of our chips stolen.
Yeah, so now we got our money back, which is really important. Because we want to be able to buy stuff soon. But now, yeah, we don't have any chips.
Mega dummy. Gotta
Yeah.
go talk to Jim.
So
No, we're gonna
Oh,
talk to
Higsby.
Higsby,
The best character.
and then we go
Get
back.
some Higsby's in chat.
So yeah, so we got all chips stolen, and then we blame Megamon for that. But then Higsby reminds us about friendship or whatever.
Full
And then
synchro.
we go, yeah, and we go talk to this old man that tells us, where we can get information, and he tells us that to look for Jim.
Yep.
Who's the
But
kid that will
first-
guard Star?
More Higsby first.
This
Oh, right.
second talk is optional, but he gives you 3 chips, one of which is star coded. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Quake 2 is almost good enough. Do we use it in Minep?
No.
No, okay. So you
I
talk to
probably
that.
used it 100%.
Yeah, probably. You talk to Jim there. Ooh, let me get the reg up too. And he's like, I want the rare like token guard start. It's like, oh, you should go talk to Raoul. This is Thunderman. This is the downside to being Aqua style. Bubbler helps us hit him despite the clouds, but the electric
Yeah, it's
attacks,
really
a lot
hard.
of them don't give you iframes. They just kind of flinch you. So it's pretty easy to just about get one shot here.
Yeah. There's a really cool strat that if you get wood, which is very unfortunate.
You did not start with this card.
Folder 2 has a
Oh,
area steal
Oh,
that you can
oh,
drag, and you can just
this is not
bully
looking
Thunderman. Oh no,
what are you?
I'm having a
fun time
right now.
Rush.
I don't want him below a certain HP threshold, so I'm making
Why?
sure he's
Does
at
he
4.
do something different?
He starts attacking faster if he's below a certain HP threshold.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you could have started with Guts Man and then Guts Shoot.
Yeah.
You're like, I really like the Buster.
Yep.
Alright. That made me panic a little.
Yeah, no, that fight. Luckily, that fight is not a game over either, so you can just retry that. But
Did we get raided? What's up with Dallas?
Don't mind that.
fun fact, little known fact about BN2, speedrunning wise, is this comp actually has the second level bunny viruses in them. So if you forget to use a sneak run, you could get your Zap Ring to be here.
Yeah, because one time Risch forgot to use the sneak run or forgot to buy one, and he was with Dash and Greg. He got the perfect encounter where he just pressed A and got something too. And ever since then, that was, oh well, this is a backup now.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So now we're
Because
just
if
going...
you can sneak run, you can still 2-turn run. So even in a worst case scenario. But
Yeah.
so this dropping trip's important. What are we getting here?
3 wind stars and 3 fan stars. And now we have 3 of the other components for Gator on top of the fact that we have Gateman. So we will soon do a folder edit to add these. There's a little bit of a nuance to this folder edit. I probably messed it up. It's probably not going to be the cleanest edit ever. But there is a little bit of nuance to it that shoutouts to Dallas for making sure
Hi.
I remember to do that. Basically, because of the way that reg slots work, you kind of want 2 wins and 2 fans in slots 2 through 4. So I'm going to sort by code to remove all of the B codes,
So good.
and then remove 1 guard. And now we can add those 6 chips as well as 2 other star codes that we've
Retrieval.
grabbed. I'm swapping Gateman near the top for quick regging. I
Oh,
remembered
slots.
what Dallas told me, which is to reg a wind. And I didn't actually do this perfectly optimally. There's a bunch of fans at the top, so I'm more likely to draw fans right now. I guess I do have wind regged, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
for
you get 7 on draw anyway, so
Oh, yeah.
anything at the top of your folder is pretty much the same.
I forgot about that. That's the key
And,
thing.
and since it's swapped, it's like, and your reg is still in the top 7.
Yeah,
The swap doesn't even, I don't think it matters.
it doesn't matter, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gateman's actually not a very likely draw at this point. I think it's in slot 8, actually.
I think
so-
it's 7. This
No,
one's
that's
only
7.
his 7, so you see the
Yep.
top 7.
Oh.
So
Good to
you can
Maybe-
keep, you can technically
maybe
keep Dash and Break here, but Snake and Mine is coming up, and we
Ow.
really want to draw Gator there. And you know this fight is
He's
not
in
too
the
bad,
back.
especially with Aqua. So
No, take the mini bomb. You had a chance. Oh, what a fight.
oh boy,
The ideal draw here is to just
Ooh.
gator and stand in the middle.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
500 zenny. So the meteor guy can drop a chip. The hard heads, I think, are only 500 zenny. So you're likely to get 500 zenny there, but not guaranteed. So you can't rely on it. Around.
isn't it guaranteed?
No, the meteor guy can give you a chip.
Okay. I thought it was.
Trust me, I played BN2 more in Dallas.
And now we give him the guard star. He tells us Miss Millions is the one who stole our
500,000 for Risch's garbage chips.
Wind Fan Gate Man.
Wow.
So
What
Navi
a
chips
topic.
look the same. They're all star coded.
Yeah.
Snake Man likes to hide, but it takes a second for him to disappear. So if you top deck Gate Man, you can just do the Gator PA. So this is the most powerful program advance that we have access to. One of the strongest in the game in period, especially because it's multi-hit and we got attack plus 10, 30 and everything. So
She also gives us another
we'll use that to
10,000
beat
Zenny.
most of the
Yeah.
bosses. Yeah. And then for beating Miss Millions, we get our chips back, which we don't actually care about. You get a passcode, which is potentially useful, and then 10,000 more Zenny for
Yeah. So
an arousing fight.
Yes.
we should probably explain exactly what Gator does, just in case anyone doesn't know. It fires 9 projectiles of 100 damage. So whenever you use any plus X amount, it will be X times 9. So a plus 10 will deal 19 more damage because he's
Travel.
adding plus 10 to every projectile.
Jennifer,
Which
I'm
that's
sure
why
that
attack-
nothing bad is going to happen to any of these people.
That's also why attack plus 30 is so good, is because it's multiplied by 9, so it adds an extra 270 damage, meaning Gator can do 1170 or 1260 damage if you draw an attack plus 10 as well.
Yeah. So for
Oh no,
all bosses
Risch.
that have 1,000, which is in a
Oh
hundred,
no, I
more than
forgot a
900.
sneak run.
Take my
Actually,
joke.
sorry. Yeah, as Tara was pointing out, the in these comps, you actually don't have enough sneak runs to use it through all of them. So instead, we skip it for the first comp, and then it's only because you get 3 encounters, pretty much always, like no matter what. And you have a high enough level to run away from these fights first try. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really lose that much time.
Yeah, because the thing is, we get a sub chip expansion thing. I forgot how it's called
Submem.
in these comps. Some. So from now onwards, we'll have no problems. But it just so happened that this very specific comp, we just have to. It's like a buff encounters.
Oh no. Rip Princess Pride. I can't believe she's going to die.
She's freaking out in the corner because she dropped her best battle chip, so it's up to Mega Man to do the fight.
Right, because there's fighting in this. Oh, I love this part coming up.
Oh.
Yep.
So the gimmick here is you're being chased by these things that spawn in at particular times. But similar to something that's used a whole lot more in Battle Network 3 is actually if you push the A button, the game does it has weird interactions with all of the other things that are moving on the field. And so Risch can mash A right now to slow down these guys. You slow them down way far. Normally, if you don't mash A and the game runs normally, you can't get in front of the bandit, like the task can maybe. But
Yeah.
you normally can't. But if you mash A, you slow it down, and it's much easier RTA to get in front of it. So Princess Pride is now crushed. Jennifer is wounded. Did not do Jennifer skip, don't blame you. And Lan is currently surrounded by fire, but that's okay because he has amazing hand-eye coordination.
He has the aim of a ninja, I swear.
Yeah, he's
Shoutouts
That's
to
fine.
his horror scope and mail. Is that faster? You go take the lower path?
Submem. I honestly don't
It's-
know.
It
Maybe.
doesn't really matter.
Maybe. This is the best cutscene skip in the game. All right, that was a cutscene.
It's over.
Thank you for watching.
And one more reg up. I think there's still a couple more we need before we have 24.
Yeah, there's like 3 in plane, 2 in airport, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Smog is watching. Weren't you supposed to like not watch because you're keeping BN2 secrets? So you can like play it blind.
But it was for
now
like
you know all the strats.
it's for the 2 first
Here's-
scenarios.
Crispy Raoul, he is smoking. So Chad
Dang.
shows up and be like, "Aha! I see you have
Almost.
defeated Raoul. You must be the villain. I am going to delete Mega Man." One advantage of having Aqua is you can actually do a few charge shots. This doesn't actually matter unless you use
Don't-
Gut Shoot.
Yeah, unless you don't draw Gutsman or Gateman to use Gator.
Use Gutter. Hit him with Gutter.
So yeah. So basically, I'm just adding in like 3 to 4 charge shots per round, and at this point, I think I just decide it's not worth it. I'm just gonna gate.
It's
or
still.
gut
That's
shoot him.
only. I think one more turn you would have had it.
Yeah, but at this
This is
point, I
still-
can just buster him down pretty much all the way down,
Yeah.
and now I don't even have to open
Man,
the
that's a
custom
long
screen.
custom gauge.
And that's it. And so that's the bug of the, thanks to the mighty power of Hyperstar.
Mhm.
Really good.
Fuck was so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before you can reg Gateman, it's basically there's only really 2 boss fights. That Proto Man, I guess Snake Man as well.
Great.
But Snake Man is way easier because he only has 600 HP. And then we have Nightman coming up, who also has a relatively high amount of HP. So,
Proto Man actually got deleted there, and in the
Yeah.
cutscene, Chod's like, "It's okay, I've memorized all of his code. I will just bring Proto Man back."
I'll just rebuild him better than before.
Yeah. It's like, don't you have backup data? In my mind. These comps were kind of confusing to learn.
Yep.
Why you held left and left?
I held it a little too long. You're right.
Talk about turn frames.
It was always
There.
some movement.
There's all sorts of.
There's like little like things you just have to.
Risch is
remember about
reading
this
chat
comp.
or something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
No,
I messed
the
up with
thing is
movement.
this-
What am I doing?
That's
Oh wow.
is down faster, I guess.
I don't know which way I was supposed to go, but the fact that I started going the wrong way is bad.
No, I usually hold left. and
Actually,
go
I think
down
this is
and
Secret
around.
fine.
right now.
No, I'm gonna get hit by the bandit, aren't I?
That's an
Probably the
annoying
vampire. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
because like we need that money.
Yeah.
If we get hit by a vampire, it's like what? Who needs health?
50 damage.
I mean, we might. What's 100?
Honestly, the bandit's not even
If
that bad
Nightman
either,
jumps.
because you just. Ooh, I actually
As
really
long
like
as
this.
it's not the zombie.
Yeah, the zombie right here. This one can be really disastrous.
Corner clip.
And you just corner clip the vampire,
Yeah.
go down, and then I'm gonna go grab my
Like
Zenny
this
real quick.
Tap strat. You could walk. Or it's
No.
just like, nah, I gotta hold run.
Nope. Holding
No,
the B
just
button. And now I'm even adding one of my copies
Win.
of Guts Shoot.
Yeah.
So
we-
yeah, I'm just gonna buster
thing
him
about
down as
the-
much as I
The
can.
Gator PA is that it takes the same amount of time no matter how much health they have. There's both. It takes the same amount of time no matter how much health they have, so it doesn't matter how much damage you do. If you use Gator for the kill, it's just gonna take a fixed amount of time.
Alright,
There it
there
is.
we go. I don't know why I threw away 2 copies of Gutsman. Basically threw away my.
Can you go back to the chip selection with Game Man there?
Sure.
So it's like when you're trying to pick the chips quickly, the best way is to look at the icons, which is why Gate Man versus Gutsman's kind of annoying because they're both stars. The thing with wind though, wind is always it's regged, so that helps now.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's forward and then backwards. So forward, backwards, star.
Or you can see it as right, left.
I mean,
You're-
that's
yeah,
also
yeah,
the
yeah.
main reason why we reg win instead of fan. That's why I told Risch, but you know.
Yeah, but later on we'll have Gate Man rigged, so that's when that comes into play more.
Right, left star.
Yeah, so we're just leaving the timer running to indicate how long we are taking in this analysis, but we are pausing the video at different points to point out certain things.
Yeah.
Pausing the timer would be too much effort. En passant, what do you want from us?
That crushing
Nice
ball
dodge.
can block Gate Man projectiles.
Which is why
Yeah.
normally you stand at the top and then Nightman will like just raise his arm up like, hit me. I dare you.
Yeah, but I like doing the other attack.
Oh, so this is an optional thing that I didn't know about for a long time. You can go buy souvenirs for your friends. Each one costs 1,000 zenny. We used to buy all 3, but that was actually pointless. So now we just buy 1 for our bestest friend, Yai.
Yeah.
Our best friend, the girl with too much money.
Yeah, so you spend 1,000 and then you get 10,000 bucks. So it's basically 9,000. Sorry.
Yep.
Just cause. Pretty nice.
Don't mind that super ominous custom sprite character. We need to grab this reg up right here.
Oh, for a moment there, I thought it was Jackin, but Jackin is for Senol Cement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or
at this
Kryptonite
point, we
tree.
need to just go to the front and talk to the pilot. And then we just need to talk to 4 special people.
Ew. Scenario introduces Quiet Edgy Boy, Dr. Iron Fist, Cool Suit Guy, Bug Guyver, and Dude with Whiskey.
We don't have to talk to the guy with whiskey
I guess
yet,
the pilot.
but
Well, these are the important plot characters
Yeah.
for this scenario. And your flight buddy, who gives you a barrier.
yeah.
Sort of not relevant for the run, but it's just a nice gesture.
So now we need to go to the bathroom.
Plan
Bathroom
ate too
splits.
much airplane food.
So now we're gonna buy 5 sneak runs because we picked up the submem. We now have access to storing 5 of them.
Is that a bug frag? What is that?
I honestly don't rig up.
That's a backfrag, I believe, yeah.
It's just sitting right there. It's like, no, we don't need them anymore.
While we were there, I think we overheard something about a bug, and then we go talk to the bug guy. Then we go back because we heard a scream, and
We're the only one that heard it. No one else is like, it's probably the television.
yep.
I got their noise canceling headphones on.
So now we go get a doctor to come treat this guy's wounds because apparently there's some spider that's loose on the airplane.
A black woolly spider. Look how spacious this plane is. No wonder a spider got lost in here.
Yep. And now we talk to the bug guy. He comes up with this incredibly complicated plan to deal with the spider that involves a pilot's cap. We now need to get whiskey from this man, who's just going to give it to an underage child for rapping to him. We also need 2 more things, one of which is a chopstick, and then some string. This lady tells us her whole life story, gives us a chopstick for listening to her.
So I have something for chat.
That is a very good clip. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, so this scenario is like a lot of walking back and forth. If you want to take a moment to go check it out, that'll be fine. We'll be here when you come back. Just going through the plane count.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're about to start the airplane comps, which have some of the most polarizing music in BN. I have to make
What
the joke.
an original commentary.
I have
Thank
to
you
make the
so much.
joke every time. I'm sorry. I'm legally obligated.
It is. It's just like HJ H1 UEKA. If you speedrun Battle Network, depending on the game you do, there's certain obligations that you have in order to maintain your TeamBN membership. One is missing swords, the other is bad puns.
This is the only bad pun. I actually just opened the menu to check my Zenny here. There are 2 BMDs in here that we want to grab that contain Zenny. We don't need to grab both of them though. And based on your Zenny amount, you can choose to ignore one or perhaps both, but normally you don't have to ignore both. I actually did skip one.
The 3K.
I did skip the one here. Okay.
So
Did
there's
you
one with
forget the
3,000.
synchron?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, so there's a
I'm like,
BN2 with
you're trying to
3,000.
stretch
Oh,
it.
no. I forgot the power up.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
I'm figuring out how magnets work.
Oh, pause it for a second. This is hilarious. It's normally you never have random encounters in here, and it was great. I think keys are on one of the earlier runners of this game, and he got in here, and it's his introduction to the series was a blind race, and then he went straight into speedrunning, so he didn't have much casual experience. Gets a very unfortunate random encounter in here, and it's the mag beetle guys, and if you don't know how they work, they just like lock you in place and then dash through you, and especially if you happen to be awkward stuff, it's really easy
You just
to die.
You just die.
It's hilarious. It's like, what are these? It's hilarious. And it's also got mag panels, which I think you only ever see depending on how your Magnet Man fight goes.
Yeah.
Right. There we go.
Now I remember. There it is. So with really good movement, you actually only need 4 sneak runs here. We do have 5. That saves a little bit of time on the next scenario. I think
if you have really bad movement and forget to use one, it's like, well, you walk through an encounter anyway. 4 is easy now.
Yeah. I already did use the sneak run, is the thing. It was already activated. It just didn't skip because I wasn't at the right level. So I don't think my movement or my usage of sneak runs was correct here. So I do think I risk encounter checks, but I don't get any past this point. But yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind. With perfect movement, you would use 4 sneak runs here. You actually just stretch it out a little bit. You wait after using.
That was a long stretch.
Yeah, because the thing is, in BN2, like in any other BN game, when your sneak run ends, it will actually reset your step counter. So that's pretty convenient to be able to stretch out the usage of sneak runs.
Yep,
This
that's a
is
pretty big difference.
Also new, thanks to Dallas grabbing this reg up too. This is the second to last reg up we need. You will be able to reg Gate Man before Magnet Man.
How convenience.
Like, you can technically reg Gate Man for 9-man, but the reg ups are way too out of the way for that. It was not worth it.
Because it's literally one fight. We go from Nightman to Magnet Man. So no randoms.
There should be
There's
0
no
fights, not even random fights. Like there should be absolutely no fights between Nightman and Magnet Man.
Yeah. But then
It's a
9-man
short
jams.
scenario.
People are like, you sure about that?
It's slightly off-centered.
How much do I stretch this one? Oh, I even did it.
No.
I even did it at another turn frame. Wow, I'm so good at these games.
I love that.
Oh man.
Wait a second. Isn't that the long way around?
It might be.
Oh yeah. Isn't that changed not that long ago? It's crazy. It's like, keeps about, oh yeah, this is 1 second faster. Oops.
I'm curious what I'm talking about in the video. I was just looking at my face and just wondering why I'm making such an intense face.
Those are the 2K.
I probably said you're just talking about how good at the game you are, I'm sure.
Did we talk about the gimmick?
Not really. Basically, there are these 2 different colored.
Obvious.
Yeah, it's relatively obvious. There's 2 different colored, sort of magnetic fields, is what they are.
This is world record
this-
analysis, not how to play the game, Dallas.
Okay, I did risk
Yeah,
it
you
too
stretch
much.
that way.
Yeah, I stretched
So
it way.
that's
Two-turn
because
run.
I know the last one. You need to use the HP mem.
Oh no, first turn run.
You actually want to use it after here because that saves an extra menu. Because I can do
Is
this.
that first turn run? So what's up with that, Dallas? Like, we had to use the power up in order for sneak run to work, but we had a first turn run. Oh, we picked up an HP mem, so we
Yeah.
got like 4 levels. So that's probably the difference.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, you pointed out earlier that there are 7 chips on the folder menu. There was 8 actually. So Gateman was in slot 8.
Oh, you should fix that.
I did fix that, and I regged it.
Well, I don't know if you needed to do both.
No, but I fixed it.
We
I also
put in Silver Fist.
Yeah, I also added a second chip called Silver Fist. Whose idea was that? Is that just something we've been doing
I'm sure
for a
it was
while?
not. Like, there's no way I wouldn't do, because
It's
No,
so,
I
I guess it
mean-
depends on the command code.
Yeah.
Or not. It's so good.
Alright.
it's the only non-G coded chip in our folder at this point. It's because it's really good for certain fights.
Yeah.
Well, that one fight.
There's
well, yeah,
one
it makes
fight in
some other
particular.
fights.
There's a
A
few
whole
others.
bunch of fights, actually. A
Yeah.
whole bunch of the ice fight encounters, you're just like, spend to win.
So this is Magnet Man. You can see the magnet panels. It doesn't really matter too much. It just drags me back to the middle after I use a charge shot.
If you're heat, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But we're not.
There we
Wind,
go.
fan,
Right,
Geek
left.
Man.
And as you can see,
Gutter.
second try.
Go away.
Second custom screen.
So but a lot of these bosses now have 1,000 HP. So in order to one-shot it with Gator, you would need like attack plus 10 will make it do 990, and then attack plus 20 or attack plus 30 is enough for a one-shot. So since we're Aqua, it's easy enough to like get in one charge shot and then attack plus 10 at a minimum.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or just 4 charge shots. It's honestly not even that bad either.
Yeah,
on most of
depending
these
on like
bosses.
what draw you have.
Mm.
Except an Ice Mod, I guess. Freeze Mod, but it's a bit annoying, but not that bad
Yeah.
at all.
I mean, normally, if you don't draw a Gate Man on turn 1, which is suboptimal anyway,
Yeah.
Boo hiss.
yeah, gotta talk to all your friends to let them know you've returned triumphantly.
And the mom.
And this is actually, you're supposed to do this because the game expects you to have gotten the souvenirs for them, and then wants to make sure that like it checks that for you. So you can give a souvenir, and when you give it to Yai, she gives you 10,000 Zenny in return.
Your best friend.
And then now we talk to Mom. Now we would have to go to sleep, but to advance the story. However, there's something very important we gotta do first.
Yeah, it's
We have to
Yeah.
set up the shortcut through the gate keys in Den Area 1. So, this is something kind of unique to BN. It's sort of like shortcuts later on in some like BN4 through 6. But basically, you're setting up shortcuts to the different squares. And gate key, I believe we have A already, or something.
wasn't there?
I
don't remember.
It's
There's-
one of them. It doesn't really matter. It goes to Den Square, and later on we'll get gate key C, which goes to Netopia Square.
I think they're in order. A, B, C, D,
Yeah, that's why I said
the
A.
square, then Yum, and then...
Kalo is D, right? And Yam is B.
Hmm. So at this point now the internet is frozen, and that's why we needed to do that beforehand, is because we needed to set that up. Because right now that path to those shortcuts, those gate keys, is blocked by ice, so we can't actually get there. However, we can get there through the net square now.
If you forget doing that, you lose a lot of time, and it's super easy to do. At one point in your speedrun cure, you will make that mistake.
Yep.
It's on a list of requirements, like you must forget to get the Higgs memo, you must,
Yep.
etc.
So at this point, Freeze Man scenario is really boring, honestly. It's a lot of just walking through the
It's the
internet.
backtrack scenario. Because it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how do we make this game longer? We have all these areas. How do we make them revisit it? I know. Let's freeze everything.
Yep.
Oh, so the only ice you can break is the white ice. This is the triple dominant fight. We didn't get silver fist, which would be
Gator,
the
though.
coolest
How
thing.
am I doing this? I don't know how I'm gonna. Oh, I know
+10
exactly.
is reasonable. Like it's 2. Oh, charge down.
I'm gonna kill one. What am I doing?
What?
What?
That's not how Gate Man works. Oh, okay.
And I messed this up.
Oh, and your panels are broken. So Risch is giving us an excellent demonstration of how not to do this fight.
Well,
He's gonna have to wait for his panels to come back before he can kill these things.
I mean, he just wanted the nice number. Crap.
This is true. Oh, I even messed that
Oh
up.
my. Oh. Okay. Wow. Well, that. Yeah.
That is a buff cross gun.
Give me my panels. And there we go.
Alternatively, if you draw Silver Fist, you spend to win and they all die in less than a second.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get Silverfish to one of the next fights, right? This
I
was.
probably get it once at least. So yeah, from that you get this red frag. You take it to Dad to analyze, and he gives you now the ability to break red ice. We now get an email from Mail that Roll has gone missing on the internet. We need to go find her. And I think there's also there's 2 reasons that we now need to go to Yumland area. One is to save Roll. Also had to buy some sneak runs here. And the other is to
To a Mr. Prog, which
Yes.
gives us heat data, and then not accidentally fight Cutman.
yeah,
I'm
or
sorry.
bait people into fighting Cutman.
If you ever see Dallas EXE in your chat and he tells you to do something, just ignore him.
Shout outs to Jameek.
This is another fight where it would be good.
Double Gutsman, go.
Why didn't I double gut? I guess I can just
No,
one
it's faster
charge
to do
on them.
this. Yeah.
Oh, we even got the double delete.
Ooh,
Look at that.
nice. 206. I like that.
So yeah, now we're going to Yumland area. As I said, we're gonna first save Roll, and then we're going to get the heat data.
Sorry.
This next fight can be terrifying because it involves rats. And rats in BN2 not only have an angry state, they have a terror state.
Yeah.
Which we probably won't see, but if you do see it, it's not pleasant.
You underestimate me.
Oh, you've got panel at 3. Totally fine. You added everything. What's going to happen now?
Oh,
What are we doing?
it's
What
like
is-
you forgot.
You underestimate me. Easiest job now.
Okay, Gutsman.
Oh, there we go.
Gutsman V1 plus 50. Buff Gutsman. Alright.
Yeah, the Freeze Man part of my run is probably the worst. There's a lot of forced fights in it that you are actually kind of difficult and require some good draws. And at this point in the run, I'm honestly like stressing to stay awake. So,
Silver Fist! Silver Fist! It works in this fight. Does he do it?
yeah. I don't know why I put attack
Nice.
plus 20 on it, but you know, why not?
Custom
Overkill.
points.
Custom point. 400. So this is the prog that gives you heat data. And off to the side is the fixed encounter for Cutman.
Actually, I don't think he gives you heat data. He tells you where you can get heat data now.
Yeah, he tells me,
It's
"Oh,
like-
you say you should tell this guy, my friends or co-workers or whatever, it's
Yeah.
barbecue thing."
So I think this is kind of a little bit of sequence breaking, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
So you're normally not supposed to do this yet.
Not required to.
Yeah. We're doing this now because we can. I guess, so normally what is supposed to happen is you're supposed to go to the internet, or figure out how to get to the internet, talk to this guy called the Doctor, And from there, he tells you about heat data, and then you're supposed to go figure out how to get heat data. However, because we know it exists, we can go get it first. When we talk to the doc, he just realizes, oh, you have heat data. Cool.
So, yeah, so, well, Risch moves, we forgot to explain two good, interesting points. First one, he did not talk to Mr. Famous again. There's two shots you can go for. The main point of this is Gospel, because he has 2000 HP, so you can either double gather him, or you can gather and double get you with some really cool shreds, gotta admit. The fight itself takes optimally, what, 30 seconds or so, and it will save you around that much. But it's technically in an optimal setting, it's a bit slower, but makes Gospel much more consistent.
Yeah, so
Risch decided not to skip that because Risch will always go for the technically fastest thing as long as it's possible.
Yeah, on average, getting double gator is faster because you have to just draw a double gator. Compared to drawing 3 program advances, you're only drawing 2. However, doing the extra fight is, when you compare the two, it actually is just strictly slower, mostly on the reward screen, and the fact that you're talking to Mr. Famous and starting that fight and everything.
For what it's worth, it's basically the same.
Yeah. Normally, it's really no different.
It's easier.
It's just like double gator's easier. One can be a little faster if you get absolutely perfect RNG. And honestly, I just like the strat if you end up with Gospel below 500 HP that much.
You came up with it.
It's such a cool strat that like I just wanted to do it, and so as a result, I take the technically time save. That doesn't end up usually being time save.
Yep. Because Risch doesn't care about averages. He isn't an average speedrunner. He's a world record speedrunner.
Correct.
Okay.
So we actually took a side trip to Natopia to do a quiz. What that quiz did is it got me an HP memory and gate key C. So now I can go through gate key A to access net square. And so now I don't have to leave Marine Harbor. I can go basically anywhere on the internet from this one location really quickly. So all things considered,
sit there and jack in, jack out, jack in, jack out.
Yes. Over and over and over and over again.
Nice. I mean, there's an alternative strat to this, which you escape talking in Okuden too far away to grab gate key A and just skip the quiz so you don't do gate key C. But instead, you travel by plane, to Natopia and Electopia a few times, because you use these millions purse to access Natopia.
Access the internet.
Yeah,
I guess both places.
Yeah, because I mean,
Raoul State area too. Shoutouts to Millions Purse. Of course, the closest point to the internet. Naturally.
Yeah. The thing is, with that route, you have like 3 extra fights.
And Reg Dash. This is a good fight for Reg Dash and Aqua, or 2 dashes worse as well.
Yeah, I swapped to Dash Reg because, again, shoutouts to Dallas for recommending this strat. Basically, most of the fights at this point are actually really good if you just draw dash and use your charge shot. There's no reason to bother trying to draw a gator or anything like that. So
they're lined up and they have like 120 HP or less, which is 90 of the dash plus the 30 of the charge shot. So it's really good.
So
the internet is so clean in this game.
Yep.
I love it.
Use the
Hold on. What are you figuring it out? I don't know why I'm going so far. I'm figuring it out.
People die doing this.
I didn't realize I didn't use the sneak run. That's what it was.
Yeah, I just saw the face.
Shout outs to Aqua though. Why you destroy the cube?
Huh? I did so much damage to the cube. I don't know how, but oh, I think I
Oh, it's
dashed
just a charge
into it.
shot. Maybe, probably. It'd be a 2-turn run, but taking the
So
fight.
there was zero need to stretch that snake run.
No, there's
The-
actually no need at all.
The
Where
undernet
if you're
has some bad encounters. So if you do forget to sneak run, some of them can, if not kill you, waste minutes.
oh yeah, I mean that was definitely a lot of wasted time. But now we're at the internet square. You're about to see the best cutscene skip of all time.
But
Now we
first,
already
we're gonna
saw
pay
Castle
this
Column.
one guy for information that we don't need. But, you
Oh
know.
right. This is the first trip. Yeah. So he gives us information, which is
We have to
basically
bribe him.
just That's one of the reasons we need 10,000 zenny. He just tells us like, hey, you can talk to this Navi to get the information you're looking for. And it's like okay. And then another Navi tells us more about where we can find another Navi, who then bribes us actually, asks for Zapring 2B to get the password, which is World 3.
Yeah. Wow. What a password. Impossible
Spoilers.
to guess.
So actually,
Jumping
we're going to
down.
use this as a good opportunity to also buy power up.
Power up. That's snake run.
That's so much
Oh.
standing. That's like
I actually
Oh,
don't
that's
need.
sneak
I
runs
actually
right
don't
there.
need sneak runs at this point.
Mhm.
I think I am still have at least one or two. I need two at this point. I think I have two.
No, yeah. The thing is, last time I ran any percent, I was using the Miss Millions route.
Yeah.
So I had to buy sneak runs in that trip.
Mm. So yeah, we go talk to this guy who gives us the password for the Zapring 2B. And now we could jack out and jack back in. However, that would require using 2 sneak runs. And we
Yeah,
also don't really need to do... It's not that much additional movement to do all of this, because you still need to go through Net Square to the gate key, back to this area. So it's and on top of the jack animation, it's roughly probably the same if I had to take a wild guess. If not,
No, this is a bit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly probably the same. After how much timing of the freeze man scenario we did, roughly probably the same.
I've
That's what
never
we come
timed
to.
it. I'm just following
I
the
made a
route.
spreadsheet.
I
Shout out to
remember my
that.
notebooks of plus minus X amount of seconds in
Also,
different routes.
fun fact, we are at the perfect amount of HP that we will need for the rest of the run. So yes, 420 HP is the exact amount we need.
There was 2 different routes. One of them you end up with 420, the other end up with 500. Because power-ups give you... It's 4, isn't it?
No, is it? I thought it was.
I'm pretty sure it's
3.
4. Because it's like, you used to have 500 HP, and then it's like we had enough extra zenny with all the changes that we buy one instead. And so 1 extra power-up, 4 less HP, man.
So style is 6 levels.
Style is 6 levels.
I thought it was 1, 3, and 4 instead of 1, 4, and 6. I may be
you saw
wrong.
it wrong. Style is definitely 6, and there's no other reason we would have 500 HP. And I know we didn't get 480. That'd be weird.
I'm gonna check the notes because it's Prisma's scenario.
Rust the trap.
But yes, so now we managed to stretch our sneak run enough that we were able to use just 2 sneak runs still to go through Netopia 2 and then back through Netopia 3 to the Undernet. Now we are back here once again, and now we see the cutscene skip. Basically, we just have to write a billboard or a BBS request message, I guess, that says World 3. And that was a cutscene skip. It's like you turn the TV off and back on again.
Probably a virus.
You talk to this guy, he asks for all your chips and power-ups, and then it's like, oh, never mind, and then gives them back. And then,
What a troll.
because we have the heat data already, we just keep talking to him, and he gives us the yellow cure, which means we can now break yellow ice. And now I need to buy more
Why
secrets.
is it yellow? Wait. More sneak runs. This game uses so many. I forget. I think I counted it once. Might have been like 50.
I believe
So much as any.
it. I believe it. So
They're super cheap. It's great.
at this point, there's really nothing. I guess no. So the doctor tells you that you should go help this guy in Utopia 2 or something. And so we go and help this guy who tells us to go help his little brother.
Yeah, something about the key maker, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
As you say, I don't know if we get a hint for this guy, but once you do finally find him,
no, because I'm pretty sure that you get a hint for this guy, but then you don't get a hint after you talk to the brother on what to do.
this
next.
fight is nuts because if you're wood, right now Risch is standing on 3 overlapping fire panels, and as soon as his iframes wear off, if you're wood, you instantly die.
Mm-hmm.
You move up to dodge, and then you move down because you don't want to get hit, and you move down too early, you step on the fire top, instantly die.
Yep. It's a shame. It's a real shame.
Remember.
Pro tip: don't get wood style when you run this game, or Lex style for that matter.
I mean, wood stars allows you to bullet Thunderbolt. So.
That's the only upside. And even then, you have to like remember to reg area grab.
It's the content upside. No speed upside.
And so now we have to go back to the undernet once again.
Oh, is it orange Navi time?
Yes.
Nice.
This scenario, once you reach the point where you have gate key A and C, is basically just you go to Natopia for something, you go to the undernet for something, you go to Natopia for something, you go to the undernet for something, you go to Natopia for something, you go to the undernet for something, and then you go back to the undernet for something, and then you go to Kodo. It
Yep. That sums it up.
And you have to remember like the minute details of like exactly where you're supposed to be going each time, because it changes every now and then.
Yeah, it's all packed in like a half-hour scenario. It's kind of tiring after a long run. When it gets kind of, one just goes out to pilot. It happens.
Shoutouts to the net dealer in Undernet 1 who sells 3 copies of Full Cust for 5,000 zenny each.
And we just ignore it.
Nowadays,
Can you imagine? Back in the day, we had 3 copies of Full Cust, 1 on reg, 3 gatemen in our folder. Be 1, 2, 3. Or optionally 5 copies of gatemen if you want to go all out. And then 3 win, 3 fan.
Nice.
the
There's
ice
a
panels
different
really
world.
mess with that. Like if they attack at different times, because they slide, and it just gets really weird.
Alright, so now the next time.
Friendly reminder that this
Looking at the tree.
is an orange Navi.
Yep.
This
Shoutouts to Doisen.
is an orange Navi. So yeah, you talk to the guy's brother, and then he's like, "Oh, go tell my brother that he's gonna be safe." And then so you go do that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And then he's like, "Oh, thank you so much." And now you have no real hint as to what to do next. If you talk to random NPCs, there's like some hint somewhere that's like, "Oh yeah, I saw this like weird thing in Undernet 3 or something like that is supposed to indicate you're supposed to go back to the Undernet." But like plot-wise, there's basically nothing telling you what to do right now.
When does Chad email you?
About Underkodo or
No, because it's like I thought maybe it's when you see the thing in Undernet 3.
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just.
I guess not. Yeah.
Am I doing mental math right now? I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing.
Zenny
Oh,
math.
I am. I'm figuring out exactly how many sneak runs I need for the rest of the scenario, even though it's really unimportant.
Yeah, you visit the shop, max out your sneak runs, moving on.
Yeah, I just max them out, and then during the last trip, I just make sure that they're maxed out, and we're fine. So yes, now we go back to the internet one more time. Then we go to Undercodo. And this is, if you're doing the dash reg strat, which is what I'm doing, this is where something very important comes up. In fact, if you're being optimal, you would want to do it here, or I guess you could do it during the next sneak run usage, but you want to do it at some point to re-reg Gateman.
As long as it's before the null and voids,
Yes.
you're fine.
The important thing is to do it before the next fight. However, optimally speaking, you should be doing it at the same time that you're using a sneak run to save just the tiniest amount of time.
You're opening the menu.
Also, key little thing, if you just run straight up into the security cube there, you get stuck on it. That's why you see me cut upright every single time there. It's not to waste a turn frame, it's to not get stuck.
Minor annoyance.
That would happen if you used this million spurs.
No, instead I would just go up into whatever area that is, which, I don't know.
No, you never go into the purse. You always just come out of the purse.
True.
Yeah. Nice. Not stretching it this time.
Yep. I don't. That's what I was. I think I was just confused
so
the first
pretty.
time. I thought I must have used it. And then now, you just.
I think the notes here was just like, "Did you see that?"
Yeah,
And I'm
pretty
like,
much.
Okay, check out.
Yep, that's it. You just need to see that cutscene. And now we go to Netopia Square to get a key, another gate key.
Yeah, could someone email you saying they could make Kitty or something? Or
It's actually
No,
the brother
it's
we
Chad.
saved. No, it's the same brother we saved earlier. Oh, Chad probably emails us to tell us that the keymaker's there.
I think there's a back way into Koto or under net 3 through Koto. And then we talked to Keymaker and that, hey, you helped me out earlier. Yeah, sure, here you go. Don't tell anyone I gave this to you. Thanks, guy.
So
Who'd you get it
now-
from? An orange nappy gave it to me.
Yep. So now we can use gate key D, which takes us to Koto.
We don't ever have to break those two ice, preventing us from getting to the shortcuts.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise you'd have to go back to Land's room and do it. Which is funny if you do that route, because then it's like your mom's like, oh, Land, I was so worried while you were fighting the frozen internet. And he's like, Mom, I was upstairs. What are you talking about?
I even did do the folder edit optimally. I forgot. Interesting.
So you have to make up for that random encounter.
Yeah. And so there's one other thing we're going to grab here real quick. One final submem so that we can get 6 sneak runs.
It's funny how many of these small little optional things, like we get this exactly for one usage, but it's worth it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The sneak run's definitely worth it. Like, the submem's 100%.
We had to get an extra unlocker and go get the submem and buy a sneak run to avoid basically 2 encounters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is also probably one of the worst fights in the game
Yeah.
if you don't have Gator. Because the Null and Voids have insane health regeneration.
You can kind of see
As
it.
you can see.
Like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
charge
Like,
at
look, they're
them.
full health. It's like, I don't even know why you're bothering. The pushes don't do much damage, but the whirlpools do. If you're heat, this fight's terrifying because like your charge shot locks you in place. It's not really useful, and everything does double damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you stand in the back row and you just kind of move up and down, it's really, really easy.
So, you
Right.
can see...
The back
Hold on, I'm
row
going to
gives
pause
you
real quick. You can see the enemy is moving to attack me. This is something very important. that you might mess up if you do runs. Don't try and just press A in this situation. You want to move first and make sure that the enemy is not going to be in front of you. Otherwise, Gator won't work.
Gator only works if Gateman can stand in front of you, which means there needs to be an unoccupied tile. And does it work on holes or not?
I think it works on holes. I'm pretty sure it does.
It does, yeah.
Not everything works on holes.
Yeah.
Like Duo showing up.
Yeah. And so now we've gotten 2 blue frags, blue frag A and B. But we need a third one in order to be able to break blue ice. However, that doesn't matter because now we also have a key to some door in Kodo Square, excuse me. It's gonna take us to some hidden lair.
You know, if you tilt your head and you look at, it's kind of, well, yeah.
You should check out a map of Kodo Square at some point if you ever get the time.
So these 3 fights can be kind of terrifying, especially the first one, because if you don't top deck Gator, these guys will desync.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of damage, and they attack fast, and they crack your panels, and if you're not like intentional about making sure that as they crack your panels, you're not area locking yourself too bad.
Oh boy.
The second turn can work out really well. Like right there, I
what
could have
was
had a
that?
good usage. I messed up Solar Fist, yeah. So now I'm just
Risch
basically...
has like
Oh
no
my
panels.
God.
At this point, I'm basically freestyling the fight. I have no
Oh, you
idea
got-
what
you
I'm
got
supposed to do.
You got 2 wins and fans. So the best you can hope for is like maybe 2. Oh, and the other thing is if there's a Quake guy above you, Gator won't work.
Yes.
3.
No, that guy's
no,
like...
he's just like, I'm
he's
not actually here yet.
teleporting.
Wow, he was
He
like
was
one
teleporting.
frame off being
You
on
got
top of
120.
you.
Do you? We don't have any healing either.
Nope.
God.
You can get a recov from this fight though, or from any of these
Oh
fights.
yeah,
actually.
yeah. So BN2 has different drop tables if you're below a certain HP threshold. Like less than 75 is different, less than 25 is different. So you could get a heal. Did not. This fight, you can actually completely dodge it if you move up and then down and then up and then down. And so they'll never attack, because the one in the middle gets blocked. I think that's true.
Yep.
But you chopped that Gator, so we're fine.
Just to answer the question, don't know what's up with Gator, like what's the logic? So basically,
There's no logic.
it fires off 3 projectiles at a time, 3 times. So each of these 3 projectiles tries to target an enemy. So at most there will be 3 enemies on the field, so it will try to target all 3.
Ooh,
Oh,
I don't know why I moved back. Don't ask. Okay.
patience.
So that's how the PA works, but what's the logic? Why am I punching Gateman and he's vomiting projectiles?
I don't know.
There's no logic. Gateman is a portal. Gateman runs on the power of Poltergeist. So this is Freeze Man. We're gonna fight him. He actually has the final blue frag. Ooh, you got Silverfish. We really only care about Gator. We do add.
So all fishman attacks deal at least 100 damage, but you know.
Interesting.
impossible to
Interesting.
die to Christmas.
Interesting. Today I learned. Probably would have been more terrified.
Freeze Man is literally dabbing right now. Freeze Man's normally got the ice barrier around him. When you break it, it starts wind, which pushes you back. It's gonna be super annoying for heat. This is the only fun you get to have if you're a Lex style, because your charge shot, which normally does 10 damage, does 40 to this guy.
True.
That's it. But we're just gonna Gator him.
If only BN2 had bolt. I forget what the style specific chip does.
The what chip?
Style specific.
I forget what Alexis. I honestly only know Freeze Bomb because of that new thing
Right.
with jealousy that was being talked about the other day.
Yeah, ooh. Kinda wanna use that at 100%.
Yeah,
VC percent.
pretty much.
Oof. I remember the race.
And so now we are going into the final day. But first, we're going to jack in at home. Basically, this gives us the best path to Kodo Square, which is where we need to go right now. But there's also some really nice things we need to buy from the Kodo shops at the same time, including sneak runs and a power-up.
Yep. Freeze Man is the last boss. I'm gonna get a lot of Zenny, so this is opportunity. We didn't used to spend Freeze Man Zenny, and then it was like, oh yeah, we have free money. Let's buy a power-up.
Now we have 6 sneak runs going into the final comps. We have
got
2 power-ups.
500 left over.
Yeah.
There's a lot of random fights in this game where you get additional Zenny, and so it can vary. I think like 4,000 seems to be kind of average-ish.
Yep.
3,000-4,000. So you can risk it, like cut out some of the blue mystery data, but there's so few and they're so fast. This purple swirly thing is spitting out purple guys. Well, I guess it's a red swirly thing.
Yeah.
So that's like not normal. Land's gonna go check it out. It's probably a virus.
We're not going to check it out. We're going to go tell our dad about it.
We're gonna get his permission to go check it out.
Yeah, now we actually don't need any more Metro passes. Yeah. We just need to go talk to Dad. And, well... That's totally our dad, by the way.
Well,
Who are you, guy? This is my dad's spot. He's supposed to stand here.
World record.
I'm looking for my father. Have you seen him?
Yep.
He's the only distinct sprite in this lab.
And now,
Can't miss him.
when you enter afterwards, you are given the choice to go to Kodo, or Kodo Town or whatever.
yeah.
So now we're here.
This is what internet radiation looks like.
Oh shit, that's that
Shout
guy
out to
walking
Zilla.
side. That's similar to...
Shoutouts to Zelu. And so yeah, now we're about to start apartment comps, which, if you are learning the game, can be very complicated. However, there's basically a very set path through them. At this point, there's nothing to pick up. It's just run through them, make sure.
Except for all the key data.
Oh well, yeah, I guess. Use your
51! We did it. And he remembered
Power-ups.
the power-ups this time. Very good.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, it is +4. You're right.
use the power-ups and sneak run at the right
Dallas
points.
doubted me.
So, basically, all you have to do is just remember where the L bits are. You pick them up, you bring them back to the control panel for that particular floor.
To the UFOs. Yeah.
And so, there's basically 2 trips that we have to do. We have to jack out at a certain point and jack back in because there's a second
It's
trip.
faster.
Yeah, it's faster to do so. There's a second trip that we want to do to go a different way once we've gotten a certain L bit. So once we see L bit 042, that's an indicator to jack out.
Hey, what a good L bit.
So
These areas are really confusing when you look at a map, but it's about like bomb comps. Once you run through it a couple times, it's fairly contextual. Like, oh yeah, this is the purple one where I cut left.
Shh.
Where I cut left. Yeah.
And for the most part, you basically just grab the L bit and return it to that specific UFO, as Dallas so calls it.
Oh, is that what they are? All right. Today I learned.
they call it that. You know, it's...
So the nice thing is that I think in the first visit there's basically you don't have to stretch the sneak runs.
No, not
in the
really.
First visit. Not really. The
Not
second
at
one
all.
is a bit tighter.
Yep. Just a tiny bit tighter. It's not too terrible.
Yeah.
253. Each one of those that you fix corresponds to a floor. So that's floor 25, room 3.
Yep. So 042 is floor 2, room 2. Or floor 4, room 2. There we go. And so that way you know what room to enter if you need to get back to that point in the internet.
Yeah. Because you also are fixing the elevator whenever you're fixing one of these.
That's why they're L bits. That's short for elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there we go. There's L bit 42, and I immediately jack out and jack back in.
Yeah. Also, shout outs to the music in this cup that you're not listening to.
Yes, it's a real shame.
Theme of Rockman EXT2. There, you want to just scroll to and play, because I think it's what shuffle anyway. Can't go back or something.
Let me find it.
Well,
I don't know if that showed up on stream, but we saw that.
Oh,
The alt tab.
I don't think they saw it.
No, I didn't.
okay.
That was
What is it called again? Can't go back.
Can't go
Yeah.
back. Rip that turn frame. Doing optimal apartment comps is a little more complicated because you're like, is this the one where I cut?
Yeah.
Or is this the one where I don't cut?
Yeah.
The first one just melts your brain in terms of movements.
Wait, should I play the actual
Can't Go
song
Back.
or the remix?
No, the remix. There's a remix and I'm pretty sure it says Can't Go Back.
I
Still.
don't see it on this list.
They're sorted by game.
These are not sorted by game. These are sorted by title.
So, really important there, you have to
Oh,
grab
'cause
everything
you- yeah.
EV before
Open
put
up.
it in element 42. Otherwise, you'll have to check into floor 4 or something. Just floor 42. You have EV, which is really important.
See if I
Oh,
can
yeah.
find the song.
No one has ever made the mistake.
Your only
right?
destiny. Can't go back remix.
Mega Rock Carnival, you can't go back. That should be the name of the song, but
Yeah, I
it's
see it, I
it's
see it.
yeah.
I found it finally.
Yeah, I put that there specifically. Actually. Spoilers are out. I actually live in Kotobuki, and so I remember when this happened. It's pretty weird. My microwave attacked me. Shout out to smart appliances. Nothing will ever go wrong with those.
This is correct. Absolutely nothing.
Sideways? No, I was walking backwards. That's faster.
So now we're about to enter the final area of the apartment comps.
There was a power up there, but you know.
That's a backup in case you somehow forgot one and you managed to get this far. You would have probably died.
You'd go back and get the one from the real world Mr. Prague.
Assuming you didn't already get that one.
Missed 2 power-ups? How would you...
If
Would
you
not make
remember
this-
all
The old route
the-
used to use that as like the actual last one. So
Yep, I remember it specifically cost like 40 something seconds.
Yep.
So it was a tough one to replace because it's like you need something that costs less than 40 seconds for it to be faster. And 10,000 ending 40 seconds per. So you know this is the last area because it's yellow.
Yeah. So this is
And
actually
we get a boss rush.
interesting.
Part 1 and 2.
Yeah. So BN1 didn't really have much of a boss rush.
Gate man plus 40.
How much damage is
We don't
that?
even need Gator.
Yep.
Get out of here, man.
Yep. That's it. That's all we need. These are basically just going to be 3 fight gauntlets of each of the bosses that we have fought in the run already.
Silver Fist, that'll work on him. It's like,
I
oh,
did
you
use
could,
it.
you could throw a tree bomb and then hit tree bomb with bubbler. Put it in the front and then, oh, is this?
I tried to time
Aw.
it. I tried to time it.
That would've been good. So, the nice thing about Gator, since it auto aims, that while he's moving, as long as you're not standing in the front, yeah, you just hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible? No, actually, this is gospel.
Yeah, so I like your future games. These are just the V1 versions.
Rip
Of the
Cutman. Well,
bosses.
Risch guessed correctly. Is Cutman gonna move up or down? Let's find out.
I guess
no.
wrong, but I figured it out eventually.
Yeah.
It was like, no, he's just gonna react, right? Nope. Guess
Well,
wrong.
I was reacting, except I was anticipating reacting. Don't mind me going back to the first floor real quick. I was anticipating, so I was like going to react, but my first instinct was to go up.
I mean, that's just like the Magfest elevators. You gotta go down to go up, and you gotta go up to go down.
Yes. And so this
Yeah.
is an extra
Oh my
area
God.
that has another 3-fight
It looks
boss
so cool.
gauntlet. It does. It does.
BN had nice dungeons. BN2 had nice dungeons.
Yep. So like this area basically has no gimmick to it. It's just run through it real quick.
Its gimmick is it looks cool. Its gimmick is it's got satellites that are terrifying.
True.
Alright, it's the next one.
I think that's the
I
next one.
remember that clip.
Nightman. So it's like now we're gonna have 3 bosses who are all like,
800, 1,000,
please-
and
please hit me with Gator.
yeah.
Well, okay, if you insist.
800, 1,000, 1,000. Win, fan, gate man. Do I just press A,
Win, fan, Gutsman.
or am I patient?
You probably mash it out. You gotta hold your charge though, otherwise you'll. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nice.
I'm telling everyone else, Risch.
know.
Okay.
This is true. This is true. Magnet Man. Yeah, my boss rush was actually pretty bad, in all things considered. Like, I did not get many first try draws of gut shoot, or gator. There we go. That's the one.
Got her.
Wasn't there like some quirk we were doing manip routing and it's like a leftover projectile or a leftover magnet or something?
Can I dodge this? I did dodge it.
Nice.
I never dodge those, by the
Okay.
way. I always
not-
fail those.
Alright.
Fourth try.
Wow. This is getting really.
Orb! Oh!
Didn't dodge that one. Yeah, this fight gets really weird with the magnets because the magnets can block Gator, and I have learned through experience that they start spawning at different points that you're not expecting. So I made sure to wait before opening the custom
Yeah.
screen there because I wanted to make sure that the magnets would not be spawning when I tried to use Gator.
That's a lot of pluses.
Yep. I did not first turn draw anything except Airman V1.
First turn on Freezeman is nice too because you can get him before he puts his ice armor up and he's like in the middle of this dab animation like, hit me with Gator. Don't do it! Don't do it!
Yep. And now, that is the second and final boss rush. And now we just have the final
Dallas,
boss.
can you talk about the final 2 fights? Because we do have base, which is not noteworthy, and then gospel, which is interesting.
What should I explain?
The attack pattern and the HP threshold and the other attack pattern.
I mean, should Risch explain it? Because he came up with
I
it.
can talk about it a bit.
It's true.
The past 10 minutes, but fine. Continue, Risch, please.
Anyway, so Gospel at first basically just will throw shockwaves at you, and he will spawn these random bug frags after his first attack. After 3 attacks, he charges up and does a shockwave that follows you and cracks panels. So you have to be a little careful that you don't like cause yourself to be area locked because of this. Once you get him below a certain HP threshold, I honestly forget the exact number.
1,000.
It is 1,000? Okay, that's what I thought. He starts spawning different bosses, actually. He will spawn Airman or Cutman or Quickman.
He transforms into, actually.
Yeah. Which will do some type of attack. And these are similar to his mouth, actually. This is something I didn't mention, but his mouth, when it's open, is the only time that you can hit him. Otherwise, he's invulnerable. When he summons these extra navies, such as Quickman or Airman or Cutman, he's also vulnerable. So that's the optimal time to use... Ooh, I actually drew Gut Shoot turn 1.
Yeah, because the one thing you don't want to do is get bug blocked.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
So luckily, he doesn't spawn any bug frags at first.
You-
Speaking of bug
Why?
blocked,
You got
Oh my
greedy!
God.
that's
I
yeah,
knew it was coming.
it's
So-
fine.
You can't fit the church out in that. So that was a excellent example of the random spawn locations of the bug frags and blocking PAs.
Yep. But now this is going to
Ooh.
be a 1170
Gator.
damage
Let's go.
Gator, and I think I've learned my lesson a little bit.
Oh,
We're fine. I would not be able to
Okay.
do this fight if that didn't work.
Like, we knew it succeeded because this is world record. Otherwise, this would have been a reset.
So now I'm trying to find my second copy
You don't need
of
windspans.
Guts
Just
Shoot.
the break. And then once Gospel gets below 500 HP, he'll enter his final phase, which is just, I'm going to set you on fire.
Yeah, he just keeps doing an elemental breath attack that you are weak to.
Oh, the cut, man. That's sneaky.
Mini bomb, got him.
I think that's the first thing on the entire run you hit with a mini bomb.
So you'll see the cool little strat a little bit, because this is only going to do 420 damage, so I still need 4 more charge shots. However, he has this wind box that he will spawn that pulls you forward during and before his elemental breath attack.
Oh, the drill.
Can also just drill you. So yeah, he's pulling me forward. I get a few charge shots in, move to the back. You can actually move in between the in between the panels during this pull forward. If you do it properly, you can not get pulled into the elemental breath and continue to do aqua busters.
Yeah.
It's
so we're all clear.
so good.
The elemental breath deal 100 damage, but you know it's always double because of elemental weakness. So that's 200. So Risch would have died if he got hit.
Yes, it's so. I guess I can call it.
Good job,
time.
Past Risch. Well, we're not done. Past Risch is done.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that was the gospel fight, and you saw it a little bit there. You can do that for the last 500 health if absolutely necessary, which normally it is if you miss a guts shoot like that, or if you don't put an attack plus 30 on a gator or something like that.
I think 2 has my favorite credits music. 3 has better scenes, but we do have Dancing Higsby. That's pretty nice.
Mm.
And there's King Man. He's not dead.
Is that King Man?
That's not the king one I know.
That's Yum King,
There you go.
the foodier King Man.
Wait, wasn't there a beta Navi here?
What?
Yeah, like a. Or was that a BN3? A Navi, a purple Navi with a really odd design that is not actually in the game? Or was that a BN3's credits?
Are you thinking
Don't
of the
Oh,
purple
hey, that's
scuttle?
the spider. Look at the cap. It's just moving. I like these ninjas. That's cool. This is actually foreshadowing, too, because Shadow Man V2 is in that area.
Yep.
Interesting. I was gonna say, you might be thinking of the purple scuttle that doesn't actually exist in the game, but only appears in the BN3 credits.
No, not the purple skull. There's an actual purple Navi that doesn't appear.
Multi-bug
else.
organism. Gospel.
That's Gregor. Wait, what?
Everyone
Gregor
in
did it
Dev
first.
Team 2.
Look, it's Shun. Behold the power of friendship.
You can't see the splits, but this run was a good example of like being behind the entire run and then right at the end getting ahead.
I guess it depends on what you're comparing against. See a lot of green right here.
Oh, that's,
I
that's,
guess
that's a
it's
lot
left
of
with
green
PB.
compared to Dallas's run, which was better than mine at the time.
Yeah.
Insolence. That's wrong
My
word.
run is in fact a minute slower.
This is the foreshadowing to the coolest area in all of Battle Network. With
Yes.
the best music.
224
Wall Street.
IGT,
Pretty cool.
and that is the end of the video.
Shoutouts to YouTube suggestion algorithm. Jazz music. Just pause it here.
I was gonna pause it on the other screen.
Oh, the title?
Yeah. Not the title, the
Oh,
IGT
then.
screen.
While Risch is doing that, Dallas, do you have any closing remarks for Mega Man Battle Network 2 speedruns?
Speedruns as a whole. What?
Like, just to answer the question.
Not really. BN2 is a cool game, and it's single summon is easy to get into. There's the video tutorial in Terra's Twitch channel, and the route is fairly straightforward. So you can watch Risch's run and replicate yourself fairly easily. If you want to get into it, it's a fun, easy category to get into. So yeah.
Yes, I would agree. It's a very good game. BN2 is my favorite casually, and I think that this speedrun is definitely one of the easier ones to get into in the Battle Network series. So it's one of the ones that I recommend new people if they aren't sure which game they should try out. I would recommend trying out BN2 single segment. The strats are very consistent. You know, it's pretty easy. There's very few places that you can die. There still are some places you can die, and even if it doesn't end up being a true single segment run, you can still just do the strats and complete a run, and it's still an any percent run. So overall, it's, you know, good category. I think that it's great for races. I've had a lot of fun at BN2 races in the past, specifically using this route. So effectively no manip. We don't really care about it being single segment, just no manip races. But yeah, I would highly recommend, if you're at all interested in learning any Battle Network category, BN2 is one that you should look into at some point.
As a side note, if you do pick up this game, don't get hung up too much in the first like 10 to 15 minutes. They can be quite frustrating. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be like world record grinding. Focus on getting a sub 240 that is pretty consistent and fairly easy, or 235 or so, and then you can just grind for like sub 10-minute dot counters. Until then, you don't really have to worry. Just run the game because it's fun. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. BN2 and BN6 are both good entries. So what you saw is, as Rich said, probably one of the best categories you can pick up if you're just like dabbling in Battle Network series. Each run, each game is pretty distinct, pretty unique, and even between them, like whether or not you use certain strats like RNG Manip or not, give you a very different experience. But that's Battle Network 2, so you just watched the fastest ever single segment completion, and you know, if you're paying attention, you're like, maybe I could do better than that. It's like, I encourage you to do so, and maybe your video will be in a future one of these world record analysis. I think that's it for this week. We're gonna stop it here. We'll be back next week, so pretty much every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/TeamBN for those of you watching on YouTube. We live stream these, so hope to see you next week for a future stream. I believe next week we're just going to keep the train rolling and do a BN3 world record analysis. If nothing else changes, we may do a race or a speedrun or something different to mix it up, but otherwise we'll definitely keep doing these. BN3's next. I don't know which we'll do, blue, white, or if we'll use Terra Goombas or not, because his run is just so much better than everyone else's.
Right.
Good question, Smog. But we'll decide that later. There'll be surprise show back next week. Orange, yes, the best version, and see what we do then.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. This has been Battle Network 2, and we'll see you next week or in the next video. Take care.